Second rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about...
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
English, mother...
Body, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
Let's put a smile on that face.
What's up, film fam, and welcome to the Film Room Podcast. My name is Dion.
My name is Scott.
And today we're talking about the 1998 sci-fi comedy, The Truman Show. And before we start, I have a quick question for you.
Okay.
Well, when you hear the name Jim Carrey, what's the first movie or the thing that comes to mind?
Good question. Well, I guess, first come to mind, I would say Grinch, just because that's probably more an age thing. Like when I was a kid, it came out and it was such a big movie. So yeah, I would probably say the Grinch. But I also this is my first time seeing the Truman Show. So I didn't have that connection to it, you know?
Oh, okay. No, for sure. I was just curious to it because I think I'm kind of setting the table of I think people, if it's your first time, you don't know our age, but if you hear that the Grinch is probably the first thing we know him from, you probably get an idea of okay, these guys didn't see early Jim Carrey. Because I say the same thing. When I think of Jim Carrey, it's the Grinch and the Mask.
Right, yeah, the Mask
the
would
two
probably
things.
be the other one.
Yeah, I think those are the two things that I first. Even though both those movies when they came out, we still would have been in kindergarten.
Yeah.
So we saw them definitely later.
But those are kids' movies, right? And this isn't a kids' movie. So those would have been what we would have seen first.
Well, the funny thing is the Grinch is kind of a kids' movie, but it's not really a kids' movie. Not the
Of course, it's a kids' movie.
No, not the Grinch. Sorry, I mean the Mask. The Mask.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
because the way he acts in that movie and stuff, if you rewatch it,
Yeah,
he's just a horn dog.
yeah,
but
it's so over the top ridiculous that it's for a kid. That's what Jim Carrey is, right? So
no, 100%. Yeah. So I have another question for you. Did you know about kind of the legacy of Jim Carrey? Because I want to give some Jim Carrey love before we get into it.
I have the same thing written down in my early notes too. I had to give him some love because I knew about kind of a lot of his movies, his big movies, but when I looked into him specifically, I didn't realize what a crazy run he went on in such a short time. So I have it written down here, and I might be jumping on your notes, but bro. So from 94 to 98, so a 5-year stretch.
Yeah.
He made 2 Ace Ventura movies, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, Batman Forever, The Cable Guy, The Truman Show, and Simon and Birch.
Yeah, it's insane, bro.
So in 5 years, that's what? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 movies in 5 years.
Yeah. No, it's insane.
Almost all bangers.
Yeah, and to bring it back a little bit, because you're not stepping on it. It's exactly what I want to talk about too. But even before that, have you ever heard of the show In Living Color?
I've heard of it.
Okay, yeah. I've seen a couple episodes because my dad was a huge fan, and actually for his birthday last year, he wanted to have because they're hard to find online, no streaming service has it.
Okay.
So I actually looked on Marketplace and all that stuff, see the people that were selling it, so we could actually have the DVDs to watch. All I could find was season 1 though. The shit's a hot commodity, and if you look on eBay and stuff, people are selling it for $200. I'm like,
damn.
Okay, yeah, I know they're trying to get.
At least you found season 1 though. I feel like if you can only find one season, that's probably the best one to get.
No, 100%. But it's weird that no streaming service. I guess no, I can't even say it's because the content on it, because it's there's some raunchy stuff on there and stuff that doesn't age well. But they have freaking Dave Chappelle on.
Yeah, true.
The Dave Chappelle show on Crave, I think now at this point. So. That he took it another level.
All you got to do is throw the rating on it, whatever it is, and then you're fine.
No, exactly. No, 100%. But it's funny seeing that because he was the token white guy on the show. And if you ever are curious to see any of his skits, you got to watch the Vanilla Ice skit.
Okay.
It's so funny. It's
Jim Carrey Vanilla
so
Ice skit. I'll search that up after the episode.
And his Seinfeld impression, which it's hilarious, man.
So you're a big Jim Carrey guy? You like him a lot?
Yeah, no, I do like Jim. I think it's one of those things, though. It's you either love him or you hate him because he's over the top. It either annoys you or you enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're totally right. But I feel because that's who he is, he picks movies based on that. And, like The Mask or Ace Ventura or Dumb and Dumber, these, that it all works in those movies, his style. But in The Truman Show, he's a little over the top, kind of when he at the beginning when he doesn't know anything's going on and he's just the super happy bubbly guy.
Yeah.
But after that, he's a pretty real dude, and his acting is great.
No, yeah, there's grounding acted in there, which is it's really come it shows his levels of what he can do because not shitting on like the other guys. I think there's far few in between. It's hard to do. You know, if you're a comedy actor, then suddenly trying to do
Yeah.
the serious thing. I think Sandler does it in a way where he's still kind of goofy, but he can have his serious moments. There's certain people like Will Ferrell, for example. I couldn't take him seriously
Yeah.
in a drama. Like
Totally.
he can
Yeah.
only do
Yeah.
goofy.
100%. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, there's just certain guys like that. Maybe Kevin James. I feel like maybe he could do it. I could think I could take him seriously. It depends the kind of role I think.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
I
some
probably
kind of
could.
dad role if he's like being like a loving dad. I think I could believe it. There's
Yeah.
certain people though.
Yeah, well, even like because even Kevin James, like in The King of Queens, for example, like his TV show.
Yeah,
There's kind of more some serious moments in it,
exactly.
and like because I mean, in a movie it's much shorter, but in a whole TV show, there's ebbs and flows to it and different types of episodes, and it's mostly funny, but there's some more serious moments, and he's still good in those.
No, 100%. And to jump back to what you said earlier, though, like you talking about how the crazy run. I don't
Mm.
know if you realize that the three of those movies, it made me wonder. I'm like, I don't know. I kind of looked around, at least some of the top actors that I've like follow, and I didn't see any of them. I'm talking like Brad Pitt. I'm talking like Denzel and all those stuff, Leo, like the big ones. And I don't know if they've ever, I don't know if, maybe there's someone else has ever had the run in 1 year success. Because you
One
said
year,
Ace Ventura, the Mask, and Dumb and Dumber all came out in the year of 1994.
yeah,
And
yeah,
Ace Ventura budget was 15 million, box office 100 million. The Mask 23 million, box office 350 million. Dumb and
Jesus,
Dumber end of the year 17 million budget, 247 million box office.
holy!
That's
So
absurd.
I think the first movie he made after that would have been a second Ace Ventura movie, or maybe it was Batman. But
Yeah, I think
dude,
so. Yeah.
after you do that, you could do anything.
That's
Like
that's,
like he could have made his own movie if he wanted
that's,
to.
that's
He could
what
have
I'm
been
saying.
charging $100 million a movie if he wanted to. That's crazy, bro.
That's absurd, bro. He's like, yo, I'll 10x your movie. Just tell
Yeah.
me, give me a script or whatever. Make sure the paycheck's right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just whatever I charge you, pay it, and you're gonna make money still. Cause I'm
Bro,
that
that's
guy.
absurd. That's absurd. I couldn't even imagine something like it's different day and age. Like the movie star is different than it used to be. People still will still turn for their favorite actors, but it's not as much as like put this person here and they'll show up. Like they're like
Yeah.
that's not as much the thing. People need a story with it. It's not like oh the Rock's in it. I'm gonna go see it. And we've seen that with a couple of his movies, but
Yeah.
where it's just like just because he's in it doesn't mean I'm gonna show up. It's got to be a good movie.
Yeah, but these movies, because they're comedies, I feel like that's a little bit different. Like people are a
Yeah,
little they care less about the story in a
yeah,
comedy because they walk in and if they laugh and if it's funny, then they're good. Then
yeah.
they're happy. You know what I mean? So and Jim Carrey's hilarious and his improv is uh, like he's probably one of the greatest improvers ever.
Oh yeah,
So
100%.
like you give him money, you throw him on a set with a basic storyline, let him cook, and he'll make you $100 million.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. He did go through those times though, like not to make it grim or anything. He did take a little break from Hollywood because he had that run and then the 2000s he was making his Grinches, the kids movies and like the Christmas movies and stuff like that. And then he kind of left for a bit. And
Hmm.
then now he's back though. He's Sonic because he was never a sequel guy really. Like he didn't really want to do the Ace Ventura stuff, and like he's always been like against like I don't want to do sequels. So they end up doing like the prequel things without him. Like with the
Mm.
Mask, they did the Masked Son, and then I think with Ace Ventura they even did like a young Ace Ventura like Junior kind of thing.
Oh,
And
did
he's like
they? I didn't even know that.
yeah, and then Dumb and Dumber they did a prequel thing too, like oh how they met before, and he was like and then later, like I think a couple years ago, they actually did one. He's like, I didn't want to. He's like sequels. He just doesn't like sequels. Which, in his defense, it usually unless there's a trilogy planned out, the sequels usually fall flat for the most part.
Especially in like a comedy, same thing. Like you're nobody's writing a comedy trilogy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's you're not
No.
starting like
Exactly.
for the most part you come up with a concept and you just make a movie around it and then you throw all these jokes, especially like a loose improv comedy like Jim Carrey does. Like you were talking about like how we don't necessarily get that anymore. Like improv comedy, like I feel like comedies these days, like obviously they're always improv, but like I don't know, I feel like comedies just hasn't done well recently, and I don't know what that is. If it's like we've kind of like ran out of ideas kind of thing, or if it's I don't know what it is, but but you're right that like we don't see these kind of movies as much.
Mhm.
And but it also could be that we just don't have the guys for it. Like you said, like Adam Sandler, Will Ferrell, Jim Carrey, like they're older now, right? And
Yeah.
who would be the next man up? I don't even know.
No, it's a good point. I think what it is that people are scared to make a comedy because it's
Mm.
like just the times we're in, and maybe we'll slowly get out of it. But it's just like, especially because we just kept rising and rising with how raunchy we could get. Like once like American Pie came out, everyone's like, okay, let's go for it. And the 2000s was wild, and then we were
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe we went a little too far. All the scary movies, and now they're trying to bring
Mm.
them back. Like I don't know how Scary Movie 6 is gonna do. I don't know how Happy Gilmore is gonna do. And I saw a quote from Jim Carrey, which I feel like might be what happens with most of those. Even when they did Coming to America too, I didn't want to watch. I have no interest in watching it because he was like, when I did Dumb and Dumber 2, he's like, it felt weird. It felt like I was doing a parody of myself. And it's
Mm.
like the people that watched that were probably like college and high school kids, and now they're like just as old as me. And like, are they
Yeah.
gonna still laugh at that same stuff? Probably not. They're a little more immature back then. It's just like, are young kids gonna watch Dumb and Dumber 2 as it like with these two 40-year-old, 50-year-old dudes? No, because they never watched the original one. So it's like it's a weird thing. And that's why I wonder about I'm sure that's what happened with Coming to America. And I wonder how Happy Gilmore is gonna do. Even because I like the first Happy Gilmore, and just but I don't know. I feel like it might be that same thing. You're gonna watch this old dude play a parody of himself from 20 years ago.
Yeah, but it depends on what the story is because I don't think
Yeah,
he's like is it I don't know what the story of Happy Gilmore 2 is going to be. Like if it's going to be his
yeah,
younger like a son or something or he's like a
yeah,
father I don't know what it's going to be. But you're right that like I can imagine that where they say it's weird getting back into that character because I feel like you hop onto a movie and you do all this work to get into a character and you know you spend a couple months filming or whatever it is and you're cracking all these jokes and you're in there every day and then you leave it for a few years and then you have to try and like get back in that mindset and be all
yeah,
goofy and you're like I feel like it would feel forced. I mean, I've never
yeah,
acted
yeah.
seriously like that, but like, I don't know. I feel like getting back in, especially a comedic one, if it's something that's more dramatic and more emotional and serious, I feel like maybe you can do the same things you did to get
Hmm.
into there. But like something that's so like improv, the whole point of improv, right, is you're just like going off the top of your head. You're just so loose and you're just trying shit. So
Yeah,
like, you do that once and then like 20 years later your brain your mentality everything is so different like trying to get back into that mindset I feel like just doesn't even work.
yeah. No, it's 100% right. I completely agree because yeah, it's such a big gap with that
Yeah.
with those kind of things. And now he's kind of got, and it's honestly got me kind of. And I used to love Sonic as a kid.
Mm.
I didn't watch the Sonic movie, the first one, because I was like, it's a kids movie. The second one came out. Now they've made a trilogy. It's still out in theaters right now, and Jim Carrey's in all three of them. And they've all made stupid money. And like, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm gonna watch it because it made stupid money. But like, part of me is
Yeah.
like, do I want to? This is the only way I can see Jim Carrey. He doesn't do anything else but Sonic.
Yeah, I know, because he was saying he's like, man, I'm not, he's basically retired, he's like, I'm not coming back
Yeah.
unless the script is amazing. Does 3 Sonic movies, like what?
They asked him about that too. They're like, "Oh, is it like Sonic brought you back like into acting? Or you found your love back for acting?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm doing it for the money."
Oh really?
Straight up, yeah.
Damn.
And I don't know if it's just him because he's a comedian just making like a
Yeah.
joke like that, or if he's actually just like, I'm just doing it for the money. Like,
Yeah,
there's probably a little
that's
bit of both in
that's kind
there.
of a good position to be in where like you could
Yeah,
just say shit like that and worst case scenario if it's not taken well just be like, oh, it was a joke, I'm a
yeah,
comedian.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. No, Jim Carrey's good. I also got a shout out to these Canadian. If we're gonna
True.
mark out for a Canadian
Hell
from
yeah.
a new market, Ontario, which I'd never heard of until I looked up his Wikipedia. You know where
Damn.
Newmarket, Ontario is?
No. And we live in Ontario.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a big province, but
It is a big province. When I in my research I realized it's a 50-minute drive from where I am currently sitting right now. So it's actually not that far. Far from
oh,
you.
okay.
Far from you,
Okay.
but 50 minutes from me right now.
That's not too bad.
So no, it's not too bad. Still, I don't
Do they
know
have
any
something there like a maybe like a
like a
statue, but like
statue.
maybe well, I don't think they'd have a whole statue, but they maybe like a if they were to make a statue, what character would it be? What should it be?
I'm
The
trying to think
Grinch?
what
Like you were
is.
saying, the first thing you think of is the Grinch.
Yeah, but that's for our generation though. I feel like
Yeah.
when the statue would have been made would have been like maybe after that whole run where people were like, damn, it'd probably been Ace Ventura. I think Ace Ventura is his most popular character, probably.
Okay.
Probably. I don't know if you're gonna do a Dumb and Dumber statue. His high school, the high school he went to definitely did like a plaque or something.
Yeah, they got to. They must.
Yeah. Like in Orleans, like Claude Giroux has a thing at I forget the school he went to in Orleans. Like
Yeah, I
hockey
don't know.
players, even at our high school, if people made it to anything, they give them a
Yeah,
little plaque. So I sure they gave Jim Carrey a plaque. If not, then I don't know
yeah,
what's
they must have. There's no way.
no, they've got to.
Hang his jersey in the rafters of the drama room. Like, you know what I mean? Hang his Dumb and Dumber shirt up in the rafters. Retire that shit.
Everything. They should have the mask. They should have the mask from
Yeah.
the mask up there. They should play the Grinch every year. Like there should be like a gathering. Yeah, they got to do. Now I'm gonna look into it. I don't know what high school he went to. I'm gonna go.
They
I'm
have to have
gonna
done
maybe
something. If they didn't, that's criminal.
that's a trip this weekend. I'm going to
50 minutes, bro.
Newmarket, Ontario. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I need to, bro. Yeah, shout out all the Canadians, bro. This year we got a Canadian that made $1 billion. Ryan Reynolds, that's a Canadian. Last
sir.
year, Barbie, Ryan Gosling, that's another Canadian. That's not his movie, but he's
in
a
it.
one B,
Yeah.
one B in
Yeah.
that movie. That's all I got for Canadians
Who
right
else
now.
is
But
Canadian? Yeah, I don't.
Wolverine is a
no
Canadian superhero.
Yeah, I guess that's
Hugh
true.
Jackman's not Canadian, but
No.
yeah, that's all.
Shout
I
out to the
got.
Australians too.
But anyway, what were your? This was your first watch. I've seen this movie a couple
Yeah.
times. What was your thoughts on the movie?
Yeah, I really liked it. I mean, I came in. I knew like that it was
Premise?
about. I knew the premise basically of it, but I thought that it was like a twist at the end. Like I thought we wouldn't know for the whole movie. So like we
Yeah.
come in with the fake credits and then immediately it's Christoph's like explaining the show. I was like, oh,
yeah.
I thought I thought I had this ruined. I was happy
Yeah.
about that. I was like, oh, I
Mm.
thought like the end twist was ruined for me.
Oh,
But I
you
was
thought
like,
the twist was that he was being recorded, and then you find
Yeah.
out. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So they told us early on. I was like, oh, so I actually nothing is really spoiled for me. Okay, this is great. But the overall, yeah, the movies do really good. I like they cut back and forth from inside the Truman Show into the real world. And you know we have some of these characters. We got like Scully from Brooklyn Nine-Nine as a guard, and we got everybody in the bar when they're talking about the show. The guy in the bathtub, like all these cuts back and forth, is just always reminding us that we're in a TV show, and like it just
Mhm.
keeps that an interesting and very unique feel to a movie. Like I've never seen a movie with this same kind of feel to it.
Oh yeah, no, I agree, and that's why I remember the first time I watched it. I think it's actually pretty recent. Well, I guess not that recent now I say it, but like it was the pandemic. The
Okay,
pandemic
that's
was the
still
first time I
recent.
watched it. Yeah, I mean, I guess I was saying that because like not recent to like around any time when the movie came out. Like at that point,
Right.
it's been like
Yeah.
20 years. But that was my first time watching. It was for my sisters, and they love that movie. Like my sister, like my little sister, for the most part, was only really seeing like kids movies at that time too, because she was like maybe like 10 or 9. So like sort of like an actual like movie that's not a Disney Pixar. So she was like, "Oh, this movie's awesome!" Like just because the concept.
Really?
She's not watching Nolan and Tarantino movies. So
Yeah.
like this is the first movie that has like a weird kind of concept that's not like a Disney movie. So she was like, "Oh man, this movie is like really awesome." And my other sister really loves this movie.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not that it surprises me. Like it's a good movie.
Yeah.
I just wonder like as younger people what more appeals to them. You're right. Like the concept is interesting and easy to understand. It's not
Mhm.
complicated, and it's a. I mean, my question though is like, why did they give him the most like vanilla life?
Oh yeah.
Like
I
white
know.
picket fence, like suburban life. Like if this is a TV show, right? So you want it to be interesting. Why wouldn't you give him
Mhm.
like a crazy life?
Yeah, no, that's true. But I guess it's more manageable that way. If he has a
Yeah, I
crazy life, you
guess.
have to do a little more. But I mean, we're gonna get into it. They still,
Yeah.
even with his very generic life, they managed to make a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of Ferris Bueller's in here. It's mostly on Christoph's point. It's not so much the movie. It's like, Christoph, what are you doing, dog? Like,
Yeah, I know. But also like think about if you're running this whole town
yeah,
for this one guy, like it's not all gonna work out. Like it's cool how they throw in the little nuggets like of how they show like the basically propaganda that they're just
yeah,
gaslight. Cause like I have this written down. Like it's a great blend of comedy.
mhm,
Like whenever he's doing whatever he's doing, right? Jim
yeah,
Carrey obviously is funny, but it's a blend of that and also really fucked up emotional like gaslighting.
Oh yeah.
Like this guy see
Yeah.
like this guy is they're running ads in front of his face. He's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what are you doing? She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like the gaslighting is insane in this movie.
Oh
It's
yeah.
hilarious.
That's such a funny way of putting it. The movie's just gaslighting, bro. If you're triggered by gaslighting, you cannot watch this movie.
That's all it is, bro. They're just gaslighting the shit out of him. And like
Oh
if
my
you
goodness.
like it's funny to see from the outside, but like if you
Mhm.
put yourself in that guy's shoes, like, oh my God, this is terrible. Like
Oh
this
my
guy is like
goodness, yeah.
everyone around him. He's like, I don't know who I could trust. I don't know what is real. And it turns out that nothing is.
Yeah.
But like everyone, it's just impossible to know what to do in that situation just because it's so messed up what they're doing to him.
It's so messed up, man. It's so messed up. And like another thing that's really cool about it too is that again, like they already established that we know that we're watching it like through the lens of like this is a TV show. So all the little cool camera angles that they throw in there
Mhm.
too are just so unique. Like some of the shit's a little hilarious too, where it's just like that adds to the comedy of like this is so ridiculous. Like his neighbor holding the garbage can
Yeah.
up, like always with the little black dots. Like, oh, I wonder what that is.
Yeah, I know. But like if you came up in the world and you because I don't even know if he knows what TV shows are.
Well, no, yeah, he
Like, do they have
watches.
fake
Remember, he
TV?
watched.
Do they?
Remember, there's a moment when he's watching TV, right? And they're like,
Oh, you're
there's
right.
that episode of the. I can't remember if it's a show or a movie, but they're like, it's like it's okay to like, you never want to leave home because home is great
Yeah.
if you have friends. Like, so playing
Yeah,
one of the
yeah.
classics. Yeah,
More propaganda. Yeah, they're just pushing down his throat. Yeah. But okay, so yeah, so he knows what TV shows are, but like I don't know if you had never had the idea that you are on a TV show,
hmm
you wouldn't be looking for these things. And like,
that's
there's the
true.
little one in his ring and a lot of people
Yeah,
on like their buttons and in the car and
yeah,
all this stuff. And I was watching like YouTube videos after like of all the little things that
hidden things.
yeah, the hidden things like when they're in the car, there's no headrests. Like they
Oh,
take the
okay.
headrests out because like the camera in the back of the car so you could see better, right?
Oh, I didn't
So
even
like
think about that.
there's all these tiny little things that are in the movie that make sense for what it is, but you wouldn't notice if you're not looking for it.
That's true. Yeah, why would Truman need a headrest? He's never gonna get in a car accident.
Exactly. Yeah,
He's
exactly.
never gonna get in a car accident. I wonder what driver's
100%.
ed look like.
Yeah. What was his driver's test like? Yeah, that's a good point. Has he ever
Yeah,
even seen an accident? Like, are there accidents around him?
yeah. Do they stage accidents? Hey, do they stage? They never. I mean, we only saw like a couple days, so we don't know if they ever stage anything horrible happening. Because
Yeah.
he's never
Yeah.
probably seen anything terrible.
That's what I mean. But that's
Yeah,
so like, how does that make for good content? Like, you're just seeing this guy go to his insurance job and then come home to his wife. Like, this is the most basic TV show ever. Like, it's
no, it's
real. I
so
get it.
true.
But and also like imagine he's Jim Carrey, he's
Yeah,
Truman, right? But it's Jim Carrey playing him, so he's so entertaining. But like imagine they just had like I don't know, some basic dude like living life. Would the show do well? Like if you didn't get someone, I guess they plan it out so that he turns out like this. But I don't know.
yeah,
It kind of just works out that you get this guy that oh hey good morning and like the biggest smile you ever see.
yeah.
It's so perfect, bro.
No, that's so true. I mean, we do like through flashbacks and little things, we do see when the story gets juicy, but all we
True.
got to see is like, okay, he's got his job. Maybe this is kind of boring. Who knows? Maybe we missed the good episode, right? This is just we saw filler and I
Filler, what
don't
are you
know.
talking about? He escapes. This is an amazing episode. Everyone on the TV was
Well,
glued.
before that,
Yeah.
as we were seeing him just going through his day to day, it was like, okay, this
Yeah.
is just regular. I don't think because the stuff that was happening, they wasn't orchestrated by them. That was
No,
all fuck
exactly.
ups. So it's like that was like, oh shit, I guess we gotta make this work. But
This movie
there's
just
one,
is one big
yeah,
Ferris Bueller.
no, it really is. Yeah, 100% is. There's another thing too I want to mention too. I didn't have this context of it after watching the first couple times, but obviously, do you know who Kai Cenat is, right?
Yep.
And it's kind of interesting too. Like, I don't think we're headed to the Truman Show, but recently he just did a month stream where he streamed for a month straight.
I
That's
know.
very Truman-esque.
But he knows he's doing it. That's the thing, right?
Yeah, no,
So,
that
like,
is that he does know he's doing it.
yeah.
But it is wild to see how far streaming's going. Like, we're just hitting the iceberg. The dude streamed for a whole month, and when he was on his stream, he talked to a girl that's been streaming for 3 years.
Jesus Christ.
Did you even hear about that?
Not the 3-year thing.
She's been streaming for 3 years. She's still going right now. Emily Cece. I had to look it up. She's just streaming all the time.
and she's just like living her life like
I've never
regular.
watched the stream because I'm not. That's too much. That's wild. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Well, I mean, nobody's watched the whole stream. You know,
Some
people
Sims,
tune
I'm
in and
sure.
out.
I'm
Nah,
sure some
3
Sims are
years
locked in.
That's impossible, bro.
They probably sleep with her. They take their phone and be like, "I'm sleeping with Emily tonight." It's a sad
Their
reality. I'm sure.
girlfriend, their girlfriend.
Yeah,
Emily.
probably. No, 100%. But yeah, no, it's wild. Yeah, I don't think we haven't got to the point where someone doesn't know they're being recorded, but there's people out
Yeah.
here just being recorded for long periods of time.
Well,
and
because it's
people are just
illegal. It's got.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know if it is, but it's got to be. It's got to be illegal.
Yeah.
Like after this movie, they probably wrote it into some bylaws somewhere or something. Like you can't do this because this is so messed up.
Yeah, it is messed up. No, 100%.
But it's also it's. I also like that they tie it into the real world. That like if this was real, like people would watch it. You know, like all the cutbacks to like the two ladies on the couch and everything. Like they're locked in, and it's sad to say, but like 100% as people, we would watch it. Like, you know, we see bad stuff happening in the world all the time, and then we just like flip away from it when it's not interesting anymore. And because there's just so many things going on, and like as a species, as a society, it's just the way we are, and we're pretty fucked up.
Oh no, 100%. And that's why it's this movie. It stays fresh for that reason because it's like it's not like, oh, this could never happen. It's like I don't think it's gonna happen, but like I think there's a party that's like, well, the way we consume content right now, like this isn't crazy. Like I don't know how many years down the road something like this could be happening where people are locked in, but like there's a fine line where it's pretty close to what streaming is.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of people watching one individual entertain me. Like before it was just like a YouTube video. It's like what we're doing now. This is gonna turn into a YouTube video, but it's not live, and we're not just constantly going. You're not gonna hear us talk about movies for 30 hours.
I think I just came up with a brilliant YouTube video idea. The Film Room Podcast, Dion Unaware.
Oh my god.
So you better watch out for some little cameras in there. But another thing, dude, he said he had 5,000 cameras. That's got to be lowballing it. They got a whole city here, and they got shots everywhere. 5,000? No way, bro.
100%. It's it's crazy. But yeah, if you guys are gonna watch me, all you're gonna see is me freaking checking my fantasy, watching some Orlando games every now and then. So doing notes for the pod. You're not gonna be that entertained. I'll let you know.
See, but that's what I mean. That's what the Truman Show would have been,
I guess,
for the most part. Like just this guy doing regular stuff. I mean, you know, we see him go into the bathroom mirror and he's talking to himself.
Yeah.
Do you do that?
No, I don't do that.
No, sure you don't. Sure you don't. Sure you don't. Sure you don't.
Jim Carrey's he's one of a kind. This actually made me want to go back and watch The Mask because I remember that movie used to kill me as a kid. I don't know. Ace Ventura, I feel like there's a time and a moment for it because I know it's very over the top, but I know The Mask I've already seen it, so it's just like I'll just go back and But anyway, let's get into the Truman. So I wanted you to. What did you think of like the opening of it? So like we start off with Christoph, like you mentioned earlier, with like the intro. You get Marin and Meryl kind of just talking as themselves, like as the actors they are, saying like, "Oh yeah, I've been on the show for this many years," and then they throw us into the world of the Truman. We get the stage fall. So like, what did you think of this whole opening of it?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was kind of like when they're revealing that it's a show right away. I was like, "Oh shit!" I wasn't expecting it because of my predetermined thoughts. But I was like, "Oh, okay, this is really cool," and like, just the concept is so good that like when they're basically all they're doing is explaining the concept to you, and Christoph is literally explaining it to you, and then you have Meryl and what was his friend's name that you said?
Marin or Meryl?
Marlon.
Marlon.
They're just kind of like, again, introducing, I feel like the feel of the movie to you, like where it's like, yeah, we're just actors on a set, and like, which is crazy for his wife, like, because that's literal prostitution.
That's exactly what Eloise said too. She's like, "Is that a prostitution?" I'm like, they don't film it.
I mean, the whole movie is like, get me pregnant. Like, I want to have a baby. Like, how are they going to do that?
Yeah, it's true.
And then even Christoph, he's like, I'm jumping ahead, but I have this written down when he was like, where is it? I have it here. I am determined that TV's first on-air conception will take place. What the fuck? Why are you so determined about that? This is a wild ass statement to make. But
it is a wild ass statement.
I feel like the feel of like, introducing like the actors talking to us, so we're part of like the real world, seeing it from the outside, is a really cool way to introduce this premise.
Oh, for sure. It started off almost like it was like a documentary style, like
Yeah.
in a way, just the way they were talking. I'm like, yeah, it's just like it's such an interesting like style, just the way they went about it. I thought it
Yeah.
was interesting.
And then the light falls and he's like, "Oh shit, that's like what the hell is this?" And then immediately they show us cuz that was kind of like one of my not a question, but kind of an idea in my head is like, so how does this all work, right? So like
Yeah.
so right away they have the thing on the radio of the guy like, "Oh, we had an aircraft go over Seaport and had some debris fall off."
Yeah.
And then Truman's like, "Oh, really?" He's like, "Yep, that's true." And like they're answering him on the
Yeah.
radio. So like, but they're just immediately showing like how they're brainwashing this guy, like through the
Yeah.
radio, through the TV, through posters, through all this stuff. And I'm like, "Oh, this is so good."
Oh yeah, like the newspaper too. Like he's like one
Yeah.
dude's like holding it, almost pulling it in Truman's face as he's like trying to read it. He's like, okay, yeah, and then he immediately puts the newspaper away and then walks away.
Because it's
Yeah,
there for that purpose.
yeah,
That's it.
exactly. It's only
Show
there for
this
that purpose.
headline to Truman and then get the fuck out.
It's too good. There's one thing too that I'll never hear the same, like like Mozart's like piano sonnet, like the number 11, like the like the movie starts off like that. And I don't like it stuck with me because I've watched the show 100 million times. But How Much Your Mother is all I think of because I
Mm,
don't know if you remember. Do you remember the playbook episode when
of
he's like
course.
we see the playbook for the first time and he's explaining each bit? They
Yeah.
play that song over that
Yeah.
every time he's explaining. So every time I hear that song now, which is messed up, I think of Barney Stinson explaining how he's tricking women into sleeping with him when I hear Mozart.
The diddle-doo, diddle-doo. Yeah,
Yeah,
every
exactly.
time they have a cutback to a play, it's always that. But
It's
I don't know,
always that.
it's one of those bits in the show that make it so good.
Oh
But like,
my
I mean,
goodness.
Truman couldn't be any further from that.
Oh yeah, no, definitely
But that's
couldn't.
what I mean. Like, they made this guy so basic. There's no way the show was any good before the events of this movie.
10,000 days. It's
I know,
insane.
almost 30 years, bro.
That's
His whole
insane, bro.
life.
Yeah, it really is his whole life. It
But
really is his whole.
the first like 6 months would have just been him like sleeping and shitting and eating. Like what even is that?
No, I get it. It's more about the parents, I guess. Even though they're calling it the Truman Show, it's like it
Yeah.
comes down to the parents. It's a heavy load on them.
I guess the best seasons probably would have been like what, like season like 16 through 18, like
Yeah,
his teenage
high
years in high
school. Yeah,
school. Yeah, those probably would have been the best seasons.
no, 100%. Because even the little flashback we get, like, well, we'll get there in a second, but just like the college thing. But the one thing I
Mm.
wanted to mention too, which is really messed up. Well, I guess the first thing I want to mention is goes more into them just like trapping him in there when he tries to leave on boat and his boat is just sunk. But my thing, I was like, yo, dog, get your money back. He paid. He saw the
Yeah.
boat was sunk and he just walked away.
Well, I mean, he was scared of the water,
Yeah.
right? I I didn't even take anything else from from that scene. I mean, you're totally right though. Now that I think about it, you pay for a boat and it's just like sunk in the water. What the hell is that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I also and then we get this is the thing that's really messed up because we already have the context of it. Is they show the flashback of the why he's afraid of water. His dad getting killed. Background story. That's when you're going like, I feel like this would be a line that would split people in real life. Would be like, okay, this is pretty messed up. Like
Yeah.
we were following this dude's life, and now you have him believing that man was his father and he died. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I was even thinking because we I was like, did they kill him on purpose? Because I didn't even know that everything was. I mean, I knew everything was fake, but I
Yeah.
thought, like maybe because we when we were talking to his mom, and she's even like, perfectly well, like your father was an only child too, because he's like, does he have a brother or something?
Yeah.
And like, so I was like, maybe it was a continuation thing.
Mhm.
Like his dad was starting it on the Truman Show, and then it was him. So like,
Yeah.
because I didn't know everything at this point.
Yeah,
but
no, makes sense.
but yeah, killing your pops, and
It's
in a
crazy.
brutal way too.
Yeah. I
In a
mean, it was
brutal
all
ass way.
storyline so they could get him
True.
not wanting to be on the water and wanting to leave, but that's crazy.
And then and it is first like this day to day thing, like the ad that the two twins that like push him against the wall
Oh yeah,
into the
yeah.
ad. That's another thing I love about this movie. All the little ads, it made me laugh every time. Every
Oh
time.
yeah, no, they're hilarious. They're so The best one is the Coco ad
Yes, that's so good.
because he's
Because he
even like,
reacts to it.
"Who are you talking to?"
He's like, what is this? What is
Yeah.
going on? Like,
What
why
does
are
that have
you
to do
doing
with anything?
Oh, it's so perfect, bro. The ads are so good. Cause like it's again, this is just like the it's all branches off of the concept. The concept
Yeah.
is so good that all they have to do is execute it, and the movie's great because the
Oh,
concept is so
100%.
good, and that's what works. So the yeah, the ads, like it's just a concept, like how do we make ads in the show, and like everything's for sale, like their
Yeah.
clothes they're wearing, the appliances in their houses, everything, the cars they drive, everything is for sale. And you even see some people in the real world, like there's a moment where the one of the old ladies is wearing
Mhm.
the same robe that Meryl's wearing, and
Oh,
it's like a
yeah,
little
yeah.
connection because everything is an ad,
Mm.
right?
I
So
actually
like,
didn't even notice that.
well, I didn't notice it, I read that online, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but
it's
that's a good point. I did.
yeah.
There was so many little things. I'm sure they put all these little Easter eggs, and some of them I caught, some of them I didn't see. But that's interesting. I didn't even catch that one.
Yeah. And it just the concept of like, how would you, if you had a show, it's, yeah, you're going to be driving it by ad revenue. How would you work that into the show? Just pushing up against a freaking, not a postcard, a billboard
A
for
billboard,
chicken.
yeah.
So good.
No, it's hilarious. And there's even the other moment too when he's fixing the lawnmower or whatever, and then
Yeah.
she's like, "You should get the other one," and then she got looks right at the camera too.
And then later in the movie, he's using the new one.
Yeah, he is, and they do the
It's so
little
perfect,
zoom in
bro.
shot of it showing the brand. It's
Yeah, it's almost like a Tarantino style shooting it for the commercial,
yeah,
like the quick zoom. Like I could
no,
see him doing
100%.
that kind of. Well, he not could I could see him doing it because he does that, like that kind of shot into like a into a character like in a Kill Bill or something.
Oh,
Like it's
100%.
so perfect, bro. Like yeah, you should get the new Elk 2000 or whatever. And oh man, it's
It's
so
a perfect
good.
no, it is. It's perfect product placement in a way that you can do their fake products and actually throw in real products in there too, because there are actually Ford products in there too, and you just squeeze that in there. Like when Truman and Marlon are like playing golf, just hitting golf
Mm,
balls. They're in front of two Ford trucks, and they're very prominently shown where you see the Ford. I'm like, well, that's a real company, so this is a real ad. But it just
yeah,
works within this world, like you're doing, like you would with all the other fake products. So it's like you can
yeah.
squeeze in like Mad Men does that too. Like I don't know if you've ever seen the show or heard of the show Mad Men at least.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, like me and Eloise have been watching it. I've never seen it, so we're watching it right now on Netflix, and they do that perfectly too because the whole show is about them like being in marketing. So they'll
Okay.
be talking about things, and they'll be talking about maybe like Coca-Cola and these things. Well, I'm like, well, that's a real product, so you're actually doing an ad in this marketing TV show. It just perfectly works, and
Yeah.
like the Truman Show does that perfectly also.
Yeah, so another one is a Marlin in his beer. He
Oh
always has a
yeah,
six pack, and he's like, "Man,
yeah,
this is a beer."
yeah,
It's so
yeah.
good.
And always the logo shows as he's sipping it too.
Like full of condensation on the outside. It looks crisp and cold and delicious
Every time we see him, he's holding a six pack.
every time.
Like, I hope he's getting a freaking cut on that, bro. Like, yo, like his agent needs to be hooking him up, bro. I'm throwing this beer constantly, bro.
Yeah, I mean that's always his way into like whenever he has to intervene, right? Like go into the house,
Yeah,
he's always like, "Hey, surprise party" or
yeah,
whatever. You know, he has a six pack. It's because how else are you gonna get him into those situations, right?
yeah. It's true. It's crazy. Now we're even talking it through. I wonder if a lot of things took motivation, inspiration from this movie. Because even Amazon kind of does a little bit of what they do in the Truman Show, where like everything's for sale. There's certain movies and shows like when you're watching a movie on Amazon and stuff like that, when you pause it, sometimes they'll show you the song that's playing, and then you can like download it on your app, your Amazon Music. Sometimes they'll do the clothes. Sometimes they'll show you the actors within the scene. So
Yeah,
they're kind of getting on that now. They haven't done all the clothes stuff because that probably takes a lot of work to get the clothes of every single thing. Not everything what needs to be sold, but sometimes they do that. I'm like, oh, maybe they took some inspiration from the Truman Show.
maybe. I mean, it was a
Who
big
knows?
movie, and like I said, like
Oh
just the
yeah,
concept is
massive
so
movie.
interesting. And like you were talking about with streaming, right?
Yeah,
We've like this show or this movie basically foresaw this explosion in content creation, and like
yeah.
it's only getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So like I wouldn't be surprised that if some people took inspiration from this movie and like incorporated concepts of it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like as I speak, like streaming, Netflix taking crazy steps in like adding sports now. Like they
True.
had the NFL game on Christmas. Like wrestling is on
Wrestling's
Netflix
on it
now, and
now,
can
yeah.
all of wrestling's on Netflix now in Canada. And then like They also had like the Tyson fight. It's like this is just the beginning.
I find, dude, I thought it funny because like the wrestling's on it now because like we've upgraded from Netflix and chill to Netflix and Raw.
Yeah, yeah.
What's
That
next?
needs to be their slogan. But...
Netflix and backshots.
Oh god.
What show? I don't know what show would be
I don't know.
crazier than that.
Yeah.
Raw's already pretty crazy.
Yeah, Raws are pretty crazy. SmackDown's on there too, so there's something
true.
that Netflix and SmackDown. But I teased it earlier when we were talking about the flashback to him going back to college, and I always find it funny too, like when in any movie or TV show when you see a flashback from whether it's 10 to 15 years ago, and everyone looks the exact same, just in different outfits.
Yeah. I mean, because I mean, what can they do?
Yeah,
You know,
no,
the actors are this age. You know,
Yeah.
they can't make them younger. I guess with like makeup and effects, you can do it nowadays. But this came out in '98, so they
Yeah,
couldn't do any of
exactly.
that. But
No, 100%.
um,
I mean,
but
they could have just had different characters play them,
yeah, I
but
guess
like just let kind of look like them. But again,
that's
I'm not
true.
knocking on it. I just find it funny where it's just like you're taking this 30-year-old dude. It's like let's just put him in because how much remember they do that shit all the time too. When they just have them in college and like suddenly Lily's like goth and just like they're
Yeah,
just in their different clothing, but like they look the exact same. It's just funny
yeah.
to me. It's just
It
that adds
is
to the comedy where
true.
it's just
Yeah,
like
true. It's a
you're
comedy
supposed to
movie,
be in
so
college.
yeah, yeah. I had a question though. A
Yeah,
little bit back. So when he sees his dad, right? He's like a
yeah.
homeless guy and he sees his
Mhm.
dad. And then when they're like watching him and then he's like, Dad? And then they take him away and they pull him away. They take him away on the bus. Why did they do that? Like,
Yeah.
because when they did that, I was like, oh shit, maybe his dad was. This was my thought at this moment. I was like, okay, they killed him off on the boat.
Yeah.
And we understand that he did that because right after that, he's sitting in it's only raining on him.
Mhm.
And then like he moves
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
the rain comes. So I was like, okay, so they control the weather. They clearly did that storm, killed
Yeah.
his dad. So I was like, maybe they pulled him away because I thought maybe he was gonna tell Truman the truth
Yeah.
and they saw that coming. So they were like, no, we just got to get rid of this guy because, and then he came back alive. So maybe he survived somehow and has been hiding and now he's gonna tell Truman the truth. And
Mhm.
if that's not the case, like this was all still part of the show, right? Introducing his dad back into the story. Why did they take him away?
Well, from what when Christoph got interviewed by that guy, I thought that maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I thought they said that he snuck back in.
Oh, he
That was
snuck
him.
in.
That was him sneaking in. Like when he was homeless like that. That was him. That past actor sneaking back in, trying to get back on the TV show, and then they're like, "Oh, what the heck? What's he doing in here?" And
So
then they
he
had to they had to like bring him back in and to make it make sense.
right. Oh, that does make sense. Yeah, because in that interview too, he's like, when we killed him off, he was pissed about it.
Yeah.
Right, which makes sense because I mean, I'm assuming they're getting paid a shitload of this. You're acting
Oh yeah.
every single day for.
Oh,
I mean, it's
I
funny
hope
that they
so.
have like kind of shifts, right? Like
Yeah.
when his wife like leaves in the morning, that's her like getting off of work and
Yeah.
going into the real world. Like it's a funny concept, but like so if you're imagine her shift is probably from like what, like 5 when he goes home from work until
Yeah.
like 9 the next morning.
Yeah, I guess
So she's
so.
got what, like a 16-hour shift pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's a long shift. Damn, every
It
single
is a
day
long
she got to be
shift.
getting paid like crazy. So
I
that's why
hope
he was
so.
pissed. That's why he
Yeah.
was pissed. He's like, I'm off the show. I was getting mad bread.
Yeah, that's so true.
But also,
But
what's the point?
what's the point of what?
Like, if you're his wife, you're working 16 hours a day every day until I guess they kill you off, and then you can
Yeah.
enjoy your. I guess that's what it is. They would like kill you off or break
Yeah.
up or whatever, and then you can enjoy your retirement. Yeah, I guess it would be.
Can you imagine what that contract looks like? They're like, all right, so you're gonna be with them for 10 years. We're gonna kill you off in like maybe season 75 or something. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Like, how long is she? Are they, like, well, they're supposed to have kids, so she's got a while to go, I guess. Maybe there's gonna be a divorce. We never know. We never know
Yeah,
what
you
that
never know what the
Christoph
plan
script was
was.
looking like. I wonder how far
Yeah.
they're planning ahead, man. Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
or is Christoph just on the fly kind of guy? What is he feeling today?
Well,
What do you want to do
he
today?
obviously can go. I think it's probably a little bit of both because he can go on the fly because, like
Yeah.
you said, his dad comes in and he had to be like, "Oh shit, okay, what do we do now?" So
Yeah.
they reintroduce him on the bridge or wherever that is. But
Mhm.
so he can go on the fly. But I'm sure they also have plans for stuff because he even mentions he's like it soon coming, like a new love interest will be brought in.
Yeah.
So it probably a bit of both.
No, it's true. It's funny too because we mentioned wrestling, and it kind of is wrestling when you think about it. Like it's a TV show, but it's a reality TV show, and some people, for the most part, well, not the game shows, but most reality shows are scripted. They
Yeah.
appear like they're real, but they're scripted. And this is the same thing. Like everyone's watching it, and like, oh, we're watching Truman's Life. I'm like, well, this isn't real though. Everyone around him's acting real. He, I guess, is kind of real, but
He's real.
he is real, but everything that's happening around him is contrived. Like he
Yeah.
can't. He's not really doing anything under his own free will. At the end of the day.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point. Yeah,
So
you're right. Because anytime he tries to do something out of free will, they like steer him in another direction,
exactly.
right? And like when he finds out that he's on the show, he's like, okay, no, like the guy in the hospital that has the cart trying to push him away, and he's like, let me help you with
Oh
that, and just
yeah,
gets out of the
yeah,
way. But,
yeah.
like,
That's hilarious.
but if you didn't know about all these things, like imagine how many times they would have steered him away from it in the real. And that's what I mean in the first scene when we see like the radio, they just steered him away from like, don't worry about that light. It was
Yeah.
just an airplane malfunction or whatever, you know?
No, it's true. And one other thing too to go back to, and I don't think this is necessarily lazy. To me, I think it's just bad booking or bad casting with the
Okay.
whole Sylvia thing. Like back to the flashback. Why are
Yeah.
you having baddies as extras? Like if you want him to be with Meryl, don't have beautiful women at his call. That is so simple.
Damn, that's a great point.
Like
Just
why?
Yeah. Yeah, because you're like, we need him to like this girl.
Yeah.
This is gonna be his wife. Why would you have baddie and place her right in front of him?
That's-
And then another thing is like, why would you then recast if you already had to pull her away because they obviously had a connection, right? And he was
Yeah.
feeling her. Why would you put her back in the library?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe
What
they
the
were
hell
just
are
they liked
and
it.
in the
Maybe they,
dance and like what is that?
yeah, like the once the gardening scene happened, and it's not like, oh, did they catch that? We all caught that. We're all
Yeah.
watching. We see them
Yeah.
looking at each other. We see it the dance, and Meryl's looking thirsty as hell, throwing herself. Oh my god, my ankle! This happens. Oh, thank you. And I was like,
Man, I was
chill out,
thinking,
chill out.
I was like, this guy Truman, like, this is. I mean, he grew up in this world, but
Yeah.
like, this is so far from the truth. Like, this girl just falling all over him, introducing herself, like in this little cheerleading outfit. Like, this is crazy, bro.
No, this is not real life.
This is
He doesn't
not
know any
real.
other.
Exactly,
Everything just
that's the
happens
thing.
to him.
Yeah.
People talk about like main character energy. He doesn't even understand what that is. He just like that's just my life.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
things
him.
just happen for me. I don't even question it. It's just things just fall into place. Oh, I guess she's my
Exactly.
wife. Which is another question too. Why did you even marry her? Like,
Yeah.
he did not seem interested at all. Like maybe
Yeah, it didn't seem like he
everyone
really
pushed
fielded.
him into it. Like, yo, you gotta
Yeah.
marry her. You gotta marry. Look at she's great. Da-da-da-da. Like,
She's great. Honestly, yeah, you're probably right. It was that. It was probably like,
Yeah.
and playing on the TV, like college sweethearts, the best story in romance. And, you know,
Yeah.
like they would have just pushed it with all these like subconscious messages. And I don't know, the guy on the radio would have said she won Miss Seaport and is the hottest girl
Yeah.
in town or something. You know what I mean? There
Yeah.
would have been, just all these
it's not like
little,
she's not ugly by any
No.
means, but it's just like you just if you're gonna have a pretty girl, just have her be the only pretty girl. Put them in an
Yeah.
all boys college. I don't know, and then have a girl show up randomly. You know what I mean? Like you're making
Yeah.
it harder on yourself.
But that's what's wild to me is like, wouldn't you want him to like go on have the dating experience? Like that would make good TV. Like him
Yeah.
going out with other girls, and if it works out, it doesn't work out. Like that's interesting, right? Like why would you just
Yeah.
want him to like have a regular college life? He's studying, and then he gets
Yeah.
with the girl, and now this is his wife forever. Like that can't be good TV. There's no way.
And again, and that was to my point too. I agree with you. It's like, why not just shoehorn the extra in? All right, yo, he doesn't like Meryl. Let's
Yeah.
make her the lead.
Well,
do
because
it.
then she went a little rogue. I think that's why.
I guess, yeah. Maybe that was their plan. Maybe that's why they were teasing it. They're like, okay, let's see which one works. Maybe we'll do this one, and then
Or
but
maybe-
no, but okay, go.
I was gonna say maybe they would have kept like introducing her here and there throughout his life, and then it would have been a whole affair, the affair episode.
Oh, yeah, true. But she kept saying they don't want me talking to you. But maybe that was part of their plan, where like to make it like this salacious kind of.
Yeah,
Oh
this
yeah, he's not supposed to
forbidden
be
fruit.
talking. Yeah, they're not supposed to be talking.
Shoot, I'm not supposed to be talking. My wife doesn't know.
Yo, honey, get in here. Truman's talking to Sylvia. Oh, he can't be talking to her. They
He's
wanted to be
talking to
with
who?
Meryl. Yeah.
He's talking to Sylvia. Where's Meryl at?
Yeah.
She's at the grocery store. She has no idea. Oh shit.
Oh my god.
Another thing, like, I guess you could record the show and go back, because like think of like the time difference, because it's just a live stream.
Yeah, that's
so like
true.
if you live on the other side of the world, like you
Yeah,
just
true. They're showing people watching in Japan, I think.
yeah, I know. Like, how does that work?
They're just watching at like 2 a.m. in the morning and stuff, I guess. It's just wild, bro.
Or maybe they just maybe they broadcast it delayed over there to like keep the timing better. I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe. That's one thing I never think about. We're kind of spoiled. I mean, the things we watch are within our North America. So
Yeah.
I always forget it because I don't really watch soccer. But when I'm with like my brother, like Kobe, and he's talking about like, oh, like waking up at 7 a.m. to watch a soccer game. Like I don't
Yeah.
watch soccer like that, so I don't have that struggles. But then even thinking about like I'll see comments on like a YouTube thing and be like, oh yeah, like people like oh yeah, I watch freaking Rockets games at 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, that's some fandom.
I know.
That is some
I know.
fandom. Like I just watch games at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Sometimes
yeah,
10.
you're
like,
totally right. It's
so spoiled.
we are spoiled for sure. For sure.
But yeah, if you're watching the Truman Show, yeah, at 2 a.m., you're a diehard, bro. Absolute diehard.
Hey, if he's talking to Sylvia, wake me up.
Yeah,
I need to see that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But so then we get well, I guess we talked about the radio broadcast, but then we get that afterwards. So we get that background story because we see him making the collage, trying to remember her face and everything, and now we get the background of why he wants to go
creepy.
to Fiji. That was kind of creepy. It is
Yeah,
kinda
doing
creepy.
the collage of her face. I was like, this is
Yeah,
a little wild. And also, like, he has a wife.
yeah,
So, like, you're married to this girl and you're this far in love with this other girl that you're just making this collage of her face. I mean, he hides it like behind a frame, so it's not like
Yeah.
he's open about it, but like, okay, Truman,
Yeah, I
he
know.
definitely would have got with Sylvia, man,
Oh, 100%.
if she didn't mess up the plan. But you're right. Like when they went to the beach and then the dad says, "No, we're going to Fiji." I was like, "Oh, that's why
Yeah.
he wants to go to Fiji,"
That's
which
why he
is
wants to
still
go to Fiji.
crazy.
It is
Like
still
he's like
crazy.
he's trying to bring his wife to Fiji. How is that going to work?
It
Is
is
Truman just a dog and he's going to get them both? Like what? Damn, Truman.
I guess so, man. I guess so. And that jumps to just like that little interaction they have. Like he has this whole thing like where he's following Meryl, kind of see like what she actually does. So then she has to like, okay, well now I gotta fake it. At least they have a fake thing set up.
Mm.
Like they actually have the hospital set up and like they're about to do the incision and everything.
That
And
fucking killed me, dude.
yeah, the extra
This-
just like, yo.
Yo, he's like, and then the surgeon, he's like, okay, I'm gonna make my primary incision here, and he's so nervous. And then yeah, something falls on the floor, and the lady gets up that's in the fucking bed. I died. That fucking killed me. I was like, how is he not seeing this? And the person like pushes them back down, puts the mask on her face, like, no, you're supposed to be knocked out. Oh my god, it's so funny.
And then finally someone comes like, yeah, this is gonna be ugly. You don't wanna see this.
That
Oh, it's
took me
so
out,
good,
man.
It's so good. There's another funny scene after that. It's the when they're going through they're going through the photo book. There's so much that we get in there. Like especially with the tiny Rushmore pictures. Like it looks tinier than I remember. And they quickly just flip over. But why does it matter anyway? He doesn't know what the actual scale of Rushmore is anyway. So be like, yeah, that's how it
Well,
is.
they still have like internet. No, he can still look at pictures of the real world. Or can he?
I don't know. And if they can, that's on them. Don't let them see what it really looks like. Just let them think that's what it actually is.
Yeah.
Why even
That's
have
a good
Rushmore
point.
in there? Why are you putting
Yeah.
that? Have
Yeah, why
different
do that?
landmarks. You're making it hard.
I mean,
on yourself.
the whole point of the movie is like the seaport's the best. Don't leave this place.
Yeah.
When he goes to the travel agent.
Oh, that's
and
a good scene,
he's
yeah.
trying to book the flight to Fiji. There's a poster right beside him with
Yeah.
a lightning bolt shooting down a plane. Like it can happen to you. Why would you have that in a travel agency office? You would never
Oh
have
my
that poster
God. That
in
was
this
hilarious.
place. It's so good, man.
It's so. There was one thing I didn't notice too, and I didn't even notice it on this watch until I saw a video on it. When the travel agency person comes in, she still has her makeup bib on. I don't
Yeah.
know if, and then she realizes and she takes off. I never even noticed that. I never caught it.
I didn't really catch that either, but I saw it in like a YouTube video after. But up like I think I don't know if she says anything, but like I guess he would have thought like she was just eating or something,
Yeah.
you know, like she was just eating something. But that's so good. Like so many little things that they work into this movie that like whenever I rewatch this movie, I'll look for all these little
Oh
things,
yeah,
and
and
because
it
there's
just makes
got
it
to
even
be
great.
tons of stuff that I missed.
Oh, 100%. And that's why it's great for rewatches too. You just keep kind of looking around, but like all these little things. And if you just don't
Yeah.
watch in a while, then you rewatch again, it's just funny just because just the performance of
Yeah, the
Jim
movie
Carrey.
itself is really good. Like, it's
Yeah.
not just because of these little things, but it just
No,
adds
definitely
to it.
not.
Like, it's so everything just adds to it. The concept, I keep saying, man, the concept is so good.
Oh yeah, it really
They
is.
couldn't have messed this up.
Oh no, definitely not. And again, to go back to the other, back to the photo book, his wife
Mm.
crossing his fingers. Why?
I guess because I mean they
She's-
would have said the words, right? They would have said
Yeah.
like, you know, by the power vested in me, I pronounce you husband and wife and stuff like that. And you know, if she's religious, then that would mean she's actually married to him. So I
Which
guess she's like, I'm doing this so that I'm not actually married to. I don't know.
My thing is, and again, it's not even hate. It's just like a funny commentary where it's just like, why don't you just make it up? He doesn't know what a real wedding ceremony is. Say bagada booty boo, and then you know what I mean? You're now married, and he'd be like, "Oh, that's what we do in this world." You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand
That's so
why
true.
they're doing real things. He doesn't know
That's so
anything else.
true. Yeah, that's a good point. And because another thing, I was like, in this picture, this is like a posed picture, right?
Yeah,
Like, did she just have her fingers crossed the whole wedding?
Yeah.
I get maybe you do it during the ceremony, you know,
Yeah.
when you're saying your vows, or you know, when you're saying I do. Like, sure, you could do it then, but after that, you don't need to keep crossing your fingers.
and fire the photographer, yo. Crop
True.
that shit out.
Yeah,
Why is that in there?
that's
She's
a
not
good point,
looking
too.
back at the pictures also to be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't put that one in the album.
Nah, this
Truman.
one's great. Yeah,
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm not even giving her my
everything's
fairest.
controlled.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not even giving her my fairest, but like, there's so much
You're right.
could be done to avoid these little things.
But also, like, because then the next day he's like, when she is going to work, and he's like, oh well, and he's asking, right? He's like, you know, where are you going, or you know, what happened? Why are you in such a rush? And I'll keep my fingers crossed for you. And she
Oh, yeah.
like pauses for a second. It's like you
Yeah,
knew that he's talking about your wedding. There's no way.
that's what I was thinking.
There's
too.
no fucking way.
I'm like, you remember that? How often do you cross your fingers? Like every time
Yeah.
you kiss them and like everything, like you do this all
That's
the
a good
time.
point. Maybe she does do it more than.
Is she
more than we
married
know.
though? That's what I was thinking. I was like, you can't be doing this job and you're married. That's
No.
wild.
No, you
So-
can't be.
So what are you crossing your fingers for? This is your life. You can't have a family outside of this. No one who's gonna withstand that. You're smashing this dude for a TV show. Sure.
I'm just acting, babe.
Yeah.
I'm just. It's a performance, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just acting.
Yeah. that's
No, you're right.
wild.
She can't have a. But I think it's more like if she wanted to get married after the show.
Yeah, I guess. Which not yeah, I don't know. It's wild.
But that's a thing too. Is like, obviously she's getting paid a shitload for this because it's every single day. Like we
Yeah.
said, probably like 16 hours a day. Like she'd have to sleep there with him.
No, it's
So,
true.
but you're getting paid all this money, and your only time off is like a few hours a day. Like you're not
Yeah.
even getting to enjoy all the money that you're making.
No, it's true.
Like she
No.
probably has the worst role in the show. Do you think she has the worst role?
Yeah, it's the most dedicated role. The mom
Yeah.
mom probably got one of the chillest because it's just like you talk to your mom, you see your mom, but if you do phone calls, she don't even have to be on set for those phone calls.
Well, that's now.
yeah.
When he was
true.
a kid, she would have been.
That is true. That is true.
Every
Did she
single
no, she
day,
didn't actually
all
give birth
day.
to him, but she probably
No.
had. I guess the mom's has had the longest role. I guess because dad got killed off.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
mom's been day
y-
one.
but you're right. The mom now is just doing like cameos.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like every
Exactly.
like
She's
every
Stan
weekend-
Lee.
Yeah.
Every now
Oh,
and then.
Sunday night dinner. There she is. There's mom. You know, but
Yeah.
but other than that, she's not doing that. But early on, she would have been. Yeah, she would
Oh,
have
yeah.
had the biggest role. For
Top
sure.
bill. Yeah, now
Yeah.
she's just an extra. Oh, no, that's good, man. That's good.
But
I have the one. I'll go. Yeah.
well, I just the oh no, I didn't have anything. Sorry, I
Oh,
fucked you
okay.
up. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. I was just gonna say I want to give a shout out to the bus driver, just because I feel like he's one of
This was good.
the few like realistic performances, because everyone else is just so cartoony with their display of whatever it is to Truman. We're like, oh, don't do this, do this. But when he breaks the bus, he seems genuinely like, sorry, man, not much I
Yeah,
can do. Like it wasn't like, sorry, buddy, not much. Like everyone else is just very cartoony to him, where it's just like, oh, okay. But he was just like,
yeah,
sorry, man.
you're
And then
right.
also like, gosh, sorry guys, the bus is broken. Everyone up, grabs their bags, walks off. Like one person wouldn't be like, yo, come on, I got somewhere to go. Everyone's like, okay, I accept it. And then
Yeah.
just march off the bus like freaking drill sergeants.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm assuming this is the bus like offset. Like
Yeah.
these actors, like they're done their shift and they're leaving. I think that's
Time to go
what
home.
this
No,
is.
100%.
So, but I think that's why like the bus driver is just a bus driver. He's not really an actor. Like he's not really meant to come into contact with Truman, whereas
Mhm.
all these other people are. So when he's on the bus, they're all just like, "Holy shit, what the fuck do we do?" Right?
Yeah.
And then the bus driver, he's like, "What the hell do I do?" And then he messes the bus up, like just murks the transition
Oh
of the
my
bus.
goodness.
But you're right, he totally looked like he wanted to tell him, and like he
Yeah.
seemed like he was genuinely like, man, this is messed up what we're doing to this guy. And there's even a
Yeah.
moment later where Marlon is like this, and I was
Yeah.
like, does he want to tell him? Like you get that feeling, and it's hard to know.
No, for sure. That brings me up to deleted scene. I wanted to mention it later. I don't know if you saw the deleted scene, but
I did. I feel like I saw one or two, but there's a bunch, so I don't know which
okay.
one
Well,
exactly you're talking about.
I'm gonna save it for later, so we can get
Okay.
back to when we get there. But um, then we get the whole like the repetitive people scene. Now, tell me if I'm jumping ahead. You want something you want to mention?
No,
Just like
that's
he
that's
starts
the next
noticing.
thing.
Yeah, he starts noticing the whole repetition of the people like going around, and that's when he tries to do, you know what, like let's go for our escape, and they drive off, and they have something else set up for them with
Yeah,
there's been a
with the
chemical leak. What did you think about
chemical
that whole
leak. Yeah,
sequence?
the repetitive like people behind him.
Yeah.
One, I was like, why? Like, couldn't you have a rotation of like 5 different things that you do or something? Like, it doesn't have to
100%.
be the exact same thing every day, but whatever. But my biggest beef about that scene is like, so he's watching it through the rear view, right? He pulls
Yeah.
his wife in the car. She's sitting in the passenger seat, and he's like, look, here's gonna be a bike, and then the flowers, and then the car. And she's looking, she can't see that shit. If I'm sitting in the driver's seat and
Yeah.
I'm looking at the rear view mirror, I can look back. If I'm sitting in the passenger seat, I can't see a damn thing.
Yeah. It's so true.
And she's looking and she's like, "Oh yeah, no, you're just going crazy, Truman, or you're just
Yeah.
seeing things." It's like she can't see nothing. How is with the way this is set up? She can't see nothing. It pissed me off. It pissed me off. Not
That's
my
a fair
lazy word, but it
criticism.
pissed me off.
No, it's a fair criticism. And also, why don't they just turn around? Like, just turn around and look.
Exactly.
I guess they
There's
don't
no
want to like
there's no
draw
headrest.
that's what I'm saying. They don't want to draw attention to the fact that they're looking at the people, but like also like you're on a TV show. Everyone should know that you're
Yeah.
looking back. But hey, no, I thought that's a funny point that she
Yeah,
wouldn't
the
see,
rear.
she wouldn't
It
see
was just the
anything.
rear view. I was like, he can't see anything. But then yeah, they drive over the bridge. He's going crazy, and all the cars are in front of him. He does like a U-turn, and then they're all gone.
yeah.
Drives across. That was cool that he drove across the bridge. He was scared, so he just
Yeah.
closed his eyes and floored it. He's like,
And just
she's
had her
gonna steer.
control.
Yeah, he's like, yeah,
I'm
I'm giving her no choice.
I'm assuming, did she assume that the dome stopped at the bridge? Because she felt like the way she reacted is like, we're about to just crash into a wall. Like, I think this is the end of because she's like, oh, we're over the bridge. Like, she was so shocked. Like, did she think that's where the wall was? That was my.
No, I don't. I think she was just like freaking out because she's like, he's escaping.
Yeah, I guess.
But he can't escape. It's in a dome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know why she was so
But-
afraid.
Well, I guess on the other side of the bridge is maybe like it's not like the set. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's more of the real stuff. Like you'll see props and you'll see, I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever other shit. So she was more just freaking out like he's gonna see all this stuff. Like this is also like this guy's flooring across a bridge and I have to steer from the passenger side. I think she was just scared.
Yeah. No, that's true. And there's two things from this that the thing, I mean, it's the obvious thing. And the second thing I only noticed from like doing the research, but immediately fire that guy.
Yep.
That when
the
he's
cop.
telling the instruction, yeah, no
Yep.
problem, Truman.
Oh my
Dog.
god, what are you doing,
What
bro?
are you doing? What are you This man did not introduce himself to you.
I
What are you
know.
doing?
What the hell's? I mean, when I saw that, I was like my first thought, I was like, did they make it across? Because I don't know if they revealed yet that it's a whole dome.
Yeah.
I'm
No, they
not sure
didn't.
if they. Oh, they
Actually, no,
didn't at
no,
this
no,
point.
no. They did. They did. They did. Because
Did
when
they?
he's having the interview, he talked about how like you can see it from space, like all that stuff.
Yeah, but did we have the interview yet?
Yeah. At this point, the interviews happened.
Oh, okay.
Oh, maybe
Anyways,
I'm wrong. Maybe I'm
no,
wrong.
you could be right. I don't know.
Okay. But
No, I
continue.
think you
Sorry.
are right. No, we did. No, we didn't have it yet. I don't think.
Really?
No, we
By
didn't
this
have the
escape,
interview
we didn't
yet.
have the interview yet.
No, we didn't have the interview yet. So,
Okay.
so I was like, I thought maybe he was in the like, because I knew he was
Oh, you
on an
didn't know it was.
island.
We didn't
So
know it
I
was a
was like,
dome.
yeah. So I thought they just had him contained to this island.
Oh,
Right?
okay,
I was like,
okay,
oh,
okay.
that makes sense. You
Yeah.
know, they tell him water's scary, so he can't leave, and there's
Yeah.
only one bridge in and out, and they just contain that. It's not that hard. So that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So when they got
Mm.
over, I was like, oh, maybe this is a real cop from the real world
Yeah.
that's like faking this thing, and that's why he fucked up. He's not an actor, right?
Yeah.
So he said
True.
Truman. But now that I know that's not true, what the hell is wrong with that guy?
That's so true. No, that's a good point. No, that's so true. And then even too, there was the one thing like, and I never noticed until looking at in the research is when he's running through the forest, all the trees are perfectly in a row. Like, and obviously a
Yeah,
forest wouldn't be like that; they'd be all over the place. But you look at them, it's like aisles. Every
yeah,
tree is just like an aisle of trees, and it's just
because
like
they just
that
planted them all.
because they're just
Yeah,
planted there. Yeah, and you wouldn't
yeah,
realize that because and they're all the exact same height. Like
right.
they were all planted at the exact same time. And it's just like
Yeah,
this it's so chaotic, you're not really paying attention to that. You're just paying attention to him fighting everyone off and running away. But then when you look at it, it's like, yeah, all the trees are exactly in a line and they're all the exact same height. Yeah, that's so
yeah.
unnatural. But he wouldn't know.
No, exactly. He wouldn't know, and it's another one of these little Easter eggs. Like they just put so much of it
Oh
into this
yeah.
movie. It's so good.
No, it's awesome. But yeah, that dude needs to be fired, bro.
100%. Yeah, there's no way he's coming back on set. You're welcome,
Yeah,
Truman.
exactly.
Everyone watching was like, bro, Christoph probably killed that guy.
100%. 100%. And then we talked we teased this earlier, like the whole like confrontation between him and his wife and talking like the whole ad where he's like, who are you talking to? Like that whole scene. And like I don't think he was actually gonna hurt her, but like it got crazy and then she broke character.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah,
line.
but her you
Yeah.
can't really blame her.
No.
Like the cop you can blame him because there was no reason to do that. But
Mm.
her, like, this is I was not expecting this too. Like it's a good scene because like we talk about the whole movie, Truman is like this super vanilla, super happy, upbeat guy, and then
Mhm.
suddenly he has like a knife or whatever this thing is
Yeah.
to his wife's throat. And Jim Carrey's great in the scene where he's
Yeah.
he's like, "Who the hell are you talking to? What is this? What does this Coco have to do with anything?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?" And
Yeah.
he realizes like, "Oh shit, you're a part of it."
Mm.
And then that's when he goes crazy and she says, "Do something." And he's like, "What the fuck does that?" Like he's just freaking the fuck out. But like it's such a tone switch. The whole movie is so like upbeat and happy, and then suddenly he's got a knife to his wife's throat. I was not expecting this.
Yeah, no, it's wild. And he's like, "What do you think? What are you gonna do? You gonna slice me, dice me, or or peel me?" And then then he
Yeah,
pulls it. But yeah, Marlon gets there real quick. Of course, with his, I think he has his beers. I think he's already got
he
his
does.
his 6 pack, and he's like, "Oh, come on, let's chill out, man. Let's." But yeah, she screams like, I think it would have been fine. Like, how does anyone expect me to be like this? Like, oh, you're talking about a wife, like. But then she said it's unprofessional, and Truman
Yeah,
didn't really catch it. I don't think, but just like, ooh, like that one line. You're like, did he catch that?
I think she was just like she was done at that. Like she didn't
No,
care. Like,
100%.
yeah,
No, I agree.
but
She was
like
100% done, but it's just like I feel like if you heard that, like everything before that, just like how does anyone expect me to deal with this? It's just like if a wife is just feel like they're in
yeah,
a bad relationship, you could scream that. But then when you say it's unprofessional, I feel like they'd be like, wait, what do you unprofessional? What does that have to do with our
yeah,
marriage? He didn't.
yeah.
He did. There was no like moment where he did like a squinted eye or anything. It was kind of just like or maybe he did catch it. I don't know.
Well, I think he already knows at this point.
Yeah.
He's figured it
You
out.
think he's 100% at that point?
I mean, I think he's maybe not 100. I mean, he knows something's up. I don't know if he knows exactly the whole thing,
Mhm.
like that it's that it's a TV show and that he's an actor, but
Yeah.
like he knows something's up for sure because he even says to her, she's like, "Oh, you're part of this," so he
Yeah.
knows there's
Mhm.
something.
Yeah, because we get deep into that with him and Marlon when they're kind of sitting there
Right.
and like chatting. To me, I think I don't know if that was the breaking point because he seems pretty emotionally distraught because he's crying like at that point, like when they're kind of talking back and forth. I think I don't know if this is the 100%, but it kind of feels like it because like when he does the whole alien impersonation thing, like where
Yeah.
like and then he's like I could like this planet Truman or whatever, but then he says
Yeah.
that little thing at the end where he's like that one's for free, and I'm
Yeah.
like
So
oh
that
so
at
he
that point he
knows,
knows.
yeah
Yeah,
he
at that point he
knows,
knows for sure. But like another question, just back to like when he had the knife to his way. So Marlon comes in super quick, right? Is he just
yeah
always on standby? Like
yeah
how did he get there so fast? Like his
yeah. Does he
shift
live
would have
on the
been
street?
over, no?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, 100%. I don't know. That's a good question. I guess he has to be on standby just because you're his best friend. We might need him
Yeah,
for. Yeah, he might have a tough role too, to be honest.
that's true. Yeah, he probably has been on there the longest at this one because like, well, no, his mom was there longer, but like we talked about, she just has like a few cameos here and there now. Marlon's still there like pretty consistently. We see
Yeah, how
him
long did they say they
quite a
knew each
bit.
other since like kindergarten or something, right? Or is it or
It was
elementary? It's like grade
yeah,
4 or something like that. Or yeah,
pretty
it is
young. Yeah.
early. It is very early.
And how would you even hire like a child for a lifelong
Yeah, that's
role? Like,
true.
how does that even work?
That is true. Don't even talk about that. Yeah, it's like yeah, someone has to give up their child and be like, yeah, your child's gonna be dedicated to this show.
Yeah,
Sorry. Yeah.
sorry. I mean, you'll get paid, but
Yeah. I mean,
that's
some people
crazy.
do treat their kids like that in Hollywood. I mean, like in the 80s, 90s, there's a lot of kids
Damn.
that were just fed to the system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
But
Oh,
what's it
but yeah,
yeah.
when Marlon is talking to him, like when they're talking to each other on the ledge or whatever, and he's freaking out. This is when Marlon seemed like he wanted to tell him. You know, he was
Yeah,
like,
no, it's
he's
true.
like, man, I've been friends with you. I've been by your side this whole time. Like, and I was like, man, if you were actually friends with this guy, you went through this whole life, you would actually develop a connection with him, right? Even though
Yeah,
you're
no, for
acting, like
sure.
you'd probably develop a friendship with him. And he even says, you know, we see that he's Christoph's talking to him in his ear, telling him what to
Yeah.
say. But you know, he it seems genuine, and he's like, man, if I was part, or if this is real, that means I would have to be part of it too. And like, he seems so like sad for Truman. So I was like, no, shit,
Yeah.
does he feel for him? Is he going to tell him? I don't know.
No, 100%. And then is this the point when he sees his dad again, or we
Yeah.
we kind
Yeah.
of skipped over that? Yeah. So then he's
No,
like,
no,
"Yo, I
his
brought
dad
your
is right.
dad
Because
here."
Marlon said, yeah, I
Yeah.
brought him. Yeah.
Yeah. That shit was so hilarious too, because it's just so cinematic. And then Chris, I was like, "Yo, easy on the fog."
And he's literally directing as it's happening. It's
Yeah.
so funny. He's like, oh, should I go to this shot? No, no, no. Hold.
Yeah.
Okay, now go wide.
Yeah.
That's our
Music.
hero shot. Yeah, music.
Music.
That's so
And
good.
then I
And
think
that's
that
the
is that when the
actual
interview.
yeah, it's right after that it's the
Yeah.
interview.
Were you
But
saying that's the actual
when
what?
he cues the music, that's the actual composer of the like that did the soundtrack.
Oh, is it actually?
Yeah, I don't have his name. I don't
Oh,
have
it's
his
all
name written
good.
down, but
Yeah, it's all good. But
it's actually
that's
the guy
sick
that
though.
did the music for the movie.
Oh, that's actually such a cute, like clever thing to do.
Yeah.
To have the composer be a composer in the movie
Yeah.
and then actually have it playing, that's sick. I didn't see that anywhere. That's awesome.
It's so good.
So then we kind of get into the climax. Like I'm kind of wrapping up the whole movie of like, we get the discovering that he's missing, like the whole like sea storm leading into the climax of the movie. So what were kind of like your final thoughts on how the movie kind of wrapped up? Because we're kind of there at this point.
Yeah. I mean, my biggest question is like, so he escapes and then
Yeah.
they send the fucking mob on him.
Yeah.
And my question is why?
It's a
So
good
like,
question.
right? Because they're like, we can't let him escape. It's like the jig is up. Like
Yeah.
the show is done. Like he knows
Yeah.
he knows it's a show. You can't continue this anyways. What are
Yeah.
you have to kill him? Why? What is he gonna do? Like what? Why are they going after him?
My main thing too is like, let's say they think that like maybe there's a way we could convince them, get them back into it. What you're doing right now looks way too sus. The entire town, like Truman's like, I just have a regular job. Why is the entire town looking for me? I've been gone for a couple of hours. I'm on a
Yeah.
missing child. Like this is absurd. Like yeah, I don't know what the mindset was. Yeah, are we just gonna gather up so we can kill him on live TV, or are we gonna try to get him back so we can convince him? But this looks way too sus.
I feel like the convincing, you can't, you get past you can't go back to that. I feel like once he knows, it's over. You can't like wipe his memory, right? And then living his whole life, he'll know that these are all actors and there's cameras everywhere. There's no going back. So
There's
what's the point of chasing
maybe
him?
there's a storyline where it's they knock him out, he wakes up like, man, you've been dreaming. You okay, Truman? Like,
Oh
yeah, like that
no,
kind of
man.
thing. You could do that. Wake him up in a hospital and be
I
like,
guess so.
what happened? It's like, you've been in a coma. You don't remember?
Or maybe they knock him out, change the whole set, and then be like, "Yeah, you're actually you're
Ooh.
in the real world now."
Oh, snap.
It just a
Yeah.
whole flip of the script.
Yeah, don't say, yeah, you don't know about Christoph, yo. You don't know what Christoph
Yeah,
had
you made a
cooking,
good
yo. You
point.
don't know he's been doing this for 30 years, bro. It's not his first day on set.
True. Yeah, you're right. He probably had some. Yeah, he had some ideas for him, but then like they actually do try to kill him. So I was
Yeah.
like, all right, this guy's just. I mean, that was for good TV because it's crazy because like the execs come in, they're like, oh, they're gonna cancel us, and you're like, why? We have the best ratings ever on this
Yeah.
pause screen, which is true. Like, imagine you're watching a show and like, guys, Truman found out. Like, imagine you're in the real world, I'm like, yo, Dion, Truman found out about the show.
Yeah.
You'd be like,
No,
oh
it's true.
shit.
Yeah. People are
You'd
like,
have to tune in.
yo. No,
Yeah.
100%. No, especially because like they turned off for the first time in a while. And like, yo, what? The show hasn't stopped. And then it comes back. You're like, yo, what has happened? Yeah. No, it would be
Exactly.
insane.
And then suddenly he was on a boat. You're like, holy shit, what's about to go down? You have to tune in for that.
But the
Must
wild line
see
from
TV.
oh, 100%. The wild thing from Christoph where he's just like, he was like you're gonna kill him on live TV. He was born on live TV. I'm like, dog, that's not the same.
That's not the same
thing.
thing.
Not the same
That's
thing
not
at
at all the same
all.
thing.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah,
Like,
being born is a good thing.
yeah, like I
Murder
understand,
is
like
not.
maybe in the grand scheme of things, because in the sense of like nature documentary, he has a point in that sense. Where like we can watch animals hunt and kill each other in a nature documentary, and we can watch the burst on nature. So he's just saying it like that, but it's just like, but this is a human though, which I guess is
Yeah.
kind of messed up because like, what's the difference? That's his
Yeah.
mindset, but humans don't think, we're not thinking that way. We don't want, we'll watch animals get birthed and die and get killed, but we don't want to watch a human do the same thing.
But you say that, but that's not true, man. Truman.
Hey, yo.
But that's but it's not true because as soon as it comes back to live and people are killing him, everybody's tuned in. And like it's crazy to say like nobody would watch that, but if you did that in real life, people would watch it. 100%
no,
people
it's
would
true,
watch it. It's
100%.
fucked up to say, but it's true. Like people would
No.
watch it. Because the funny thing is, as soon as they restart transmission and they see him on the boat, immediately they cut to the bar and the guy's like, 2-1, he doesn't make it. 2-1,
Yeah,
like
that's
they
so
just
messed up.
immediately start betting on if this guy's gonna die or not. That's so
messed
fucked up.
Yeah, this
But
was
it made me laugh.
The 2025 FanDuel's got props going.
Exactly.
No,
100%, bro. It just build a parlay on fucking on Truman's voyage. Man,
Yeah, that's messed up. Man.
immediate bet 2-1, he doesn't make it. Killed me.
That's crazy. The funny thing is, like, I didn't even notice it too. This is a small thing. Like, another thing I saw, like the ring that he was always wearing that had the camera on it. I didn't even realize that his dad gave it to him, and then he gave it back to him when he saw his dad again, and that's why they couldn't find him. Because I was like, how could they not find him? I thought they always have things on him. The ring was the main like tracker, but then he took it off. So it was like, okay, now we really can't find him, which I thought was interesting because I didn't realize that ring thing. The
Yeah.
significance of
No,
the
I
ring.
kind of thought the same thing because I was like, I mean, he went in the basement, covered the cameras, and like snuck his
Yeah.
way out, dug this tunnel. So, and I guess like when he's in his house for the night, they basically just kind of turn off all the other cameras, and
Yeah.
they're not really looking for him because they know where he's at. So basically, they just assumed he was there. Another possible Ferris Bueller by those two guys. They were like, he's just lying in the basement sleeping.
Yeah.
He's fine. But I don't know. I mean, I just assumed that, yeah, once he snuck out of the house, like all the cameras were off and that's how they didn't find. But you're right. I did read that after, and I did not notice that either. Like, how did his dad give him his ring while he's drowning?
Yeah, I don't. Maybe it was ahead of time where he's just like, "Oh, I want to
Yeah, I
give you this
guess.
ring, Truman," and then he knew that was his dead scene. So I was like, "Well, he's gonna hold
Yeah,
on
you're
to
probably
this now."
right. He knew he was
Like,
going to die. So
yeah,
true.
exactly. So, but what did you think of the final confrontation? I mean, I don't know if you have more to say about the actual storm.
Not much. It was just, again, like they decide that they're gonna kill him on the boat, and again, I was like, why? Why are
Yeah.
they gonna kill him?
I
Um,
do actually. There is one thing I do want to say. It just came to my mind. There is one thing about the boat scene where on my first watch, where I was like, I know this movie is. I always go on this where it's like, okay, it's a very renowned movie when I'm watching it the first time, so I know like maybe anything can happen. That's why it's already been a great movie, but
mhm.
maybe Truman dying or something happens which makes this movie like that's why everyone loves it so much because like damn, you don't expect him to actually die, and then what's the follow up? I didn't really think he was gonna die. Part of me was just like, is he gonna die? Is that why this movie is liked so much? So like when the dude was like upset, like one of the workers, he's like crying. He's gonna kill him. He doesn't even care. I'm like, oh snap! Like, is Truman like really in danger now? Like, even the workers are like, yo, you're gonna kill this dude. Like that had me on the edge of my seat. I remember the first time I was like,
Yeah.
yo, what's about to happen to this dude?
Yeah, that had me pretty locked in too. Like that, you're right. That guy where I mean, you've gone his whole life and you're totally okay. You killed,
Yeah,
I guess you didn't actually kill his dad, but you did all this other shit. And then he's like, man, he's going to die. And he doesn't, and he really seems really sad. And then
yeah,
Christoph is just a psycho. He's like, hit him again,
yeah.
hit him again, fuck him
It's
up, more wind. Like
yeah,
Christoph's a fucking psycho.
crazy man.
But I also knew he wasn't gonna die because I had already seen like the shot of him going up the stairs like on the
Oh,
sky,
okay.
right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
and him like giving his iconic, in case I don't see you,
yeah,
good afternoon, good evening, good night. So I had
yeah.
seen that already, so I
Mhm.
knew that was the end of the movie.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, there's no way he dies here. But he was getting messed up
Yeah,
by
he's
this
getting
storm. I was like,
murked.
how is he not gonna die?
He was
And he
getting
just
murked.
wakes up, but like he didn't drown from that. I was like, this guy's a soldier. He was fucking tough as shit. And he even comes up and he's like, is that all the best you could do?
Yeah.
That was
That was
tough.
hard. Yeah, that was hard. Do you think like there's a part of Kristoff that actually cared about him? Do you think Kristoff like really cared about him? Because he had the whole little speech talking about like I'm trying to protect you, or do you think that was just like psycho work to try to manipulate?
No, I think that was more gaslighting for sure
Okay.
at the end because like you just tried to kill the guy.
Yeah.
But I do think kind of earlier on in the movie, well, I guess it wouldn't change that fast, but I did get the feeling that he cared for him a little bit. Like there's a shot of him like Kristoff when Truman's sleeping and he's kind of like
Yeah.
he like touches his face or something and it's like cuz if you think about it, like he's been with him his entire life too. He's
Yeah.
kind of like a father to this guy in a way,
100%.
right? So you would think that you would develop a connection, but this guy's just a robot. He has no feelings.
100%. I wonder too, like if Denis Villeneuve directed this movie, it would have been like such a darker. He likes making dark movies. Like all of Denis movies are dark, but like in still in an entertaining way, where it's not like you're
Yeah.
crying into your pillow after you watch his movies. But if he took this movie, the tone of it would have been so different. That'd be interesting. Again, not this movie was great, but I just always imagine like if a different director directed this, like even if Tarantino, like there's just so many different ways you could like mess around with this concept. It's just again, it's just such an interesting concept.
Yeah, that's a good point actually, because the concept is so good, but there's a ton of different ways you could go about it, and they decided to make it like a comedy feel.
Yeah.
Because I actually read that early on in the script writing, it was written with as a like a thriller.
Oh,
It was
really?
supposed to be much darker,
Okay.
and
Which
but
is still
then
thrilling.
yeah,
It's just
oh,
it has so
100%.
much comedy on it that it gets I think it gets labeled more as a comedy than a thriller
And
for sure.
I think that works better in the sense of like we've been talking about all the ads that they work in that's funny, all the little things that they add just to play with the concept of the movie, of when he goes to the journal stand and they have like the propaganda
Yeah.
on the magazines and the newspaper and stuff. So like these are like funny concepts, or not funny concepts but funny touches to the concept,
Hmm.
whereas if it was more serious and dark, if you have an ad in there and you're not trying to have it funny, how would you do it with an ad? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
the quick zoom into her when she's like, "Oh, you should get the new lawnmower." Like
Yeah.
it's a funny thing and it's so good that like if you did that in a serious way, I feel like it wouldn't hit the same.
Yeah. No, I agree. That definitely is a good point.
My,
Another question.
my
Oh,
other
yeah,
or
go.
go ahead, go ahead,
No,
go
no, no.
ahead.
Say what you're gonna say. Say what you're gonna say.
Well, I was gonna say when Kristoff is doing like hit him again, and the
Yeah.
guy's like, "No, I'm not gonna do it." So Kristoff goes and does it. Why doesn't anyone stop him? Like he's
Yeah, I
literally
know.
killing
No,
Truman
it's
right
true.
now, and no one's stopping him.
Hey, they're
Kind of
scared.
wild.
It's his boss. They're scared.
So
Yeah, I don't know. I
they're
don't know.
not in the dome. What is he gonna do?
If you saw someone being a psychopath right there, and then like I don't know, you're no, I definitely think I would do something, but I'm just playing devil's advocate saying
Yeah.
that. they're scared
You
of
got
him.
to,
I don't
bro.
know.
You
Yeah,
gotta
no,
you
you
gotta
do.
stop
You
it. Yeah.
100%. This is messed up. But I don't know. Their morals have been skewed for
True.
a while now,
It's a good
depending
point.
how
Yeah.
long they've been working there. So I don't know how what
Yeah.
their
That's
feelings
a fair
are
point. That's
100%
a fair
about
point.
it. But yeah, so what did I we talked about he got up to the wall and everything. Did you have any theories about watching this movie, did you ever think, well, you said you already kind of knew how it ended and then you watched it. Is there a part of you that kind of wonders like what's the first thing he's going to do? Like what's the outside world? Did you have any theories on like
Yeah.
what they could do? They're not going to make a sequel, but if they
Right.
made a sequel, what would be the
I feel
on
like
the
it'd
other
be him
side?
trying to get to Fiji, right? Because I mean,
Mm,
he's the whole point is he's trying to go back to Sylvia,
yeah.
and there's a couple of like back and forth that we see Sylvia, and when he escapes, like she puts on her jacket and like runs downstairs, like he's not going to be outside, or
Yeah,
maybe
I
she
know.
is in Hollywood.
I
Actually,
was going to say
she
she's probably
probably
not in
is.
Fiji. Yeah, she's definitely not in Fiji because the dad said that.
Yeah,
He's like he's going to
that's
Fiji.
so true. I don't know why I assumed she was actually in Fiji. There's yeah,
Because
no,
the
you're right.
dad
She's
said it.
definitely yeah.
You've been
But why would she
gaslit.
actually do? I have been gaslit. You're right. I've been You're right. She's probably going. I think it would be that. Like he would meet up with Sylvia, and then they would just live their regular life, I guess.
Do you think Kristoff would be a block? Like, you think
But
he would still
again,
get in
what
the
is the
way of him?
point at that point? Who like you can't bring him back into the like and killing him like there's no why kill him? He's not gonna kill. You know what I mean? Like there's just let him be a
No,
regular guy at this point.
no,
There's no
100%.
reason not to.
Yeah, no, for sure. I saw Jim like a quick video of Jim Carrey kind of like saying like, "Oh, do you think they could make a Truman?" He's like I've sat with it for a bit, and he's like, I feel what would happen is like he would go into the real world and realize that it'd be kind of weird because he'd be a celebrity and everyone would kind of
True.
know him and everything, and it'd be like he'd feel just as awkward and weird because no everyone would be weird around him again because everyone's
Yeah,
watching for the last 30 years. So then
that's
he'd be
true.
it's kind of like a grim kind of take on it, but it's like I'm sure you can still make it funny in a way, but I don't know if it's like it becomes a thing where he's like, you know what? Let me go back to that. It's basically the same thing. If he ends like
Yeah.
that's kind of grim, but I don't know. He was saying he didn't have this whole concept, but he's like, I feel like he would go outside and realize that like it'd be just as weird on the outside, and then he'd
Yeah.
actually start seeing some real shit.
Right. Yeah. They basically ruined his life for him because you're right.
Yeah,
Like I didn't even think of that, but you're right. He'd come out and everybody would know who he is,
yeah,
so he wouldn't have a normal life anyways. But also, like I think it works that there isn't a sequel and we
yeah,
don't see what happens outside because, like, in the theme of the movie of like privacy, right? This guy has no privacy, and the whole point is he leaves and we don't see what happens because now he's earned the privacy.
yeah,
You know, like we're not supposed to see what happens next because we've been watching him his whole life.
yeah,
So
100%.
if there's a sequel or if we see what he does outside, then that kind of I'm not gonna say ruins it. Like it doesn't ruin the theme of the movie, but it works in that sense because it's what he's earned at this point. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
no, for sure. It definitely wraps up in its own thing, and it definitely doesn't.
Yeah.
I was gonna say deserve. Like the movie's good enough that it could deserve a sequel. I just don't think it needs a sequel. Like
Yeah.
it's good living within its own space. If you want to do some weird spin-off TV show where it's something else that people can enjoy it as its own thing, sure. But we don't need Jim Carrey, and especially not now too. It'd be like it wouldn't even make sense.
Yeah, I
Um,
think if anything, you could do like a prequel of like we
yeah,
talk about like him like in his teenage years maybe, or
maybe,
and
yeah,
you would just like we know the concept, and obviously he wouldn't learn at that point, so it wouldn't be the same like him escaping, but it would just be I don't know maybe him coming close to like finding out and funny ways that they would steer him away from it, or you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
they could probably do some funny stuff with that with like a prequel of him earlier in his life, um, but this last scene, like I said, I had already seen it. I didn't see the whole scene,
like
but
a
like
clip or
I kind of
something.
yeah, exactly. I'd seen a clip of it, but I think what made it so much better, like when I was watching the actual movie, is that like we're really rooting for him,
Yeah,
right? Like I see, like I had seen him. Okay, he escapes this TV show, but like what really makes it is that this guy, we understand like the gaslighting and the emotional stress and everything that's been going on through his life, how messed up the situation is. He should be getting out of this, and they almost killed him on the boat. Like we're really rooting for this guy to
yeah.
escape, and then when he walks out, it's like a gratifying thing, so that's why it meant more seeing now that I've seen the movie, you know?
Yeah, and then it builds. They build the tension so well. Like from the moment that it hits the wall, the slow of him touching the wall, him slowly coming up. They have a thing. He turns around, and you just see him looking into the black space. You're like, is he gonna turn around? Is he gonna go? What's he gonna do? Like they held it. They held it long enough that has you like, what's he gonna decide? Like, what's he gonna do here? Like, you gotta go, Truman. Please
Yeah,
don't let him
yeah,
gaslight you
exactly.
more. Don't let him gaslight.
I know.
Christoph
That's
kind of fucked
literally it.
himself up though, where he was like, "Say something. You're on live TV." I'm like, "Dog, you might have had him, maybe. Now you're just screaming at him. What are you doing? What the
True.
heck?"
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't
That
know.
maybe was his biggest fault. I don't think he had him. He couldn't have
Nah,
had
probably
him.
not. I don't think so. I don't think so.
But
But
you're
it's
right. That didn't help. It definitely
no,
didn't help.
definitely didn't help. Do you have any final facts, thoughts?
I do have a couple. So, one note that I saw that Big Brother season 1
Okay.
came out in 2000, so 2 years later.
Hmm.
It's like the show. So I don't think they officially said that they've
Got
drew
inspiration?
inspiration from this, but like it's kind of the same
Yeah.
thing. So just an
Oh,
interesting
it's
little
interesting.
fact that
I didn't know Big Brother
maybe
was that
it was that.
old.
Yeah,
I didn't
me
realize it came
neither.
out. I didn't realize it came out that early. That's interesting. That is interesting.
So maybe they got the idea from the show, but not confirmed.
Yeah. Have you ever have
And
you ever seen WandaVision?
no, I haven't watched it.
Oh, okay. It's not really a spoiler actually, but
Well, I don't care. You can
it's
spoil it.
heavily inspired. Well, even me saying this, I don't even feel like we need to cut it because it's heavy. The premise of it is she kind of creates her own Truman Show world. That's why the show's in black and white, and it kind of
Okay.
goes through different stages. Like Wanda's so powerful that she creates her own town, and she's stuck in a '50s comedy.
Right.
And it slowly switches. It slowly switches, and I think no one actually said. I was waiting for someone to be like, "This is like the Truman Show." They didn't get that cue with it, but it 100% was like the Truman Show. Honestly, WandaVision it's actually a pretty good show. It's only 10 episodes. I'm not fucking shilling for
Oh, okay.
Disney over here, but it's
Yeah.
actually a pretty good show. And considering all their content post
Yeah. Post Endgame.
Endgame,
Yeah.
WandaVision's actually pretty good.
Well, I watched like in the multiverse of madness, like the Doctor Strange movie
Yeah.
that and Wanda's in it, and you kind of get a taste of that,
Mhm.
like with her kids. So I can see that came from WandaVision. So
Yeah.
it makes sense.
No, it's definitely Truman Show inspired. Like when I was watching it, I even got my sister. I'm like, "Yo, they're doing like the Truman Show." It's like she's trapped in this world, and yeah, I think she knows, but she's acting like it's not
Yeah,
like
because
it's
it's
not
good because
actually
it's nice for her, so she enjoys
exactly.
it.
And
Yeah.
Vision's dead, so she's acting like he's alive.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
again, not spoilers. It's literally like the trailer for the show, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
interesting. But yeah, but any other
One last
fact?
thing I had was so there was cases of schizophrenia where people believe that their lives are reality
Hmm.
and uh are
Like
reality
reality
TV shows.
TV.
Sorry. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
reality
yeah.
TV. And it's called the Truman Show delusion.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
And
hilarious.
like a doctor called it that, and Andrew Niccol, the writer,
Yeah.
said, you've made it when you have a disease named after you.
That's awesome, bro. I did not know that. I guess it's a
Yeah.
new concept. Clearly, if they only discovered that in like 1999 or whenever they discovered that
Yeah.
name for
Yeah,
that.
because there was a doctor that I read that had like a psychiatrist that had multiple patients that kind of went through this,
Mhm.
and there was someone in the UK that had the same thing, and I actually don't know if it's officially called the Truman Show delusion or
Yeah,
if
but
that's
it's
what they
just
call,
like
but it's what they call it. There's
yeah,
probably like
pop
an
culture.
official name for it,
Yeah, I'm
but
sure, but it's just like the quick way of saying it.
yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
pretty cool.
I got two things. The
All right.
first thing's really small. Because someone there was like a little thing where it's this little thing that they add in there that it's not mentioned, but it's there. So if someone's questioning it, it's like, oh well, look at that scene right there. Is the fact
Mm.
that like there's no natural sunlight, right? Like he's not getting natural sun, so he's not getting any vitamin D. So in shots where you see him eating breakfast and stuff like that, he has a little vitamin D pills, and they're just sitting there. So at least you
Ha!
see that he's getting his
Nice.
vitamin D somewhere because he's not getting real sun.
Yeah.
Or it's just like
Ha!
a
That's awesome.
it's just
That's
like
awesome.
a nice little subtle thing, which again you don't even have to put in there because again you're watching a comedy. I don't think anyone's digging that deep. Like, how would he be alive? He
How's
doesn't
he
get
getting
real
vitamin
sun.
D?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but someone was just like, "Yo, fuck that dude! Boom, let's put a vitamin D pill right
Yeah.
here." So if they question that when they look in, it's right there. Dang it! They did think of that, which it's this little clever thing to add in there.
But wouldn't you want, like the actors should probably take that too.
Yeah,
Some of them, the ones that are in there a long time, like his wife should probably be taking vitamin D pills too. Like even
No,
though, yeah,
100.
she still sometimes goes out into the real world. It's a lot of her life is spent in there.
100%. They should have been promoting the vitamin D pills too. Just why
Yeah,
not?
true.
Real product placement. Get it in there.
Here, Truman, make sure you get your Johnson's vitamin D
Yeah,
in Walgreens all around the world.
exactly. No, 100%. And the last thing I had was apparently the episode was the show movie was
Yeah.
inspired, because I'm jumping ahead of what I'm trying to say. It was inspired by the Twilight Zone episode called Special Service, where it was some guy was being like video like recorded and he didn't know it, and he was kind of like freaking out, like, am I being recorded? So the Andrew Nichols saw that and he was like, oh shit, that'd be a good idea for a movie. The Twilight Zone's got so many crazy episodes. Like, I'm sure there's been so many things. Our new version of that is Black Mirror. Black Mirror is the modern day Twilight Zone. And
Yeah.
those concepts are crazy. Like this Truman Show could have been a Black Mirror episode. 100%.
Yeah,
And
that's
he
true.
wrote the script in 3 days, the screenplay.
Damn.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. He watched that
Holy
episode
shit.
and was like, all right, go into the forest, like go in a cabin or whatever. Banged it out in 3 days. Insane.
There's no way, like the whole script. There's no way.
Yeah. That's what he said. He wrote
fucking
it. He wrote it all
crazy.
3 days. It's like 3 days is a long time though. If he's not doing anything else, it's
Yeah, I
crazy.
guess.
But you also got to keep in mind, because I was saying this to Eloise, I was like, it's not like this is his first rodeo. This man was like, what, like in his 30s, 40s, he's been writing. So he
True.
has the whole process of writing down. And like, he's probably and this wasn't his first screenplay either. Like he
Yeah.
wrote, like, so it was just like, no, I got it.
guess.
Boom. Let me just go. And I'm sure, like,
Yeah.
obviously revisions happened. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm sure he went back and it's like, okay, let's add more depth here.
Yeah.
But like the whole concept and the way the story arc was going, it was all good in 3 days apparently, which is insane.
Yeah. Damn. I mean,
It's
those
impressive.
are normally the best products that come from that. You know, when you have an
yeah.
idea and you just run with it and everything's like, they say that it basically writes itself. Like it all
Yeah.
just comes naturally
Just
in your
flows out
head
of
and
you.
it's just flowing out. Yeah, it's just flowing
Oh,
out.
for
So you're
sure.
not like, because when you get stuck and you have to think about it, then you're basically problem solving, right? But when
Yeah.
you're going like that means you're not running into any problems. You just have a great idea and a great script and it turns into a great movie.
Yeah, flow state. Just get into that
Flow
flow.
state.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get into the
facts.
rhythm. Heat check.
He checked. He didn't. Yeah, he had no sound of the crowd. He didn't
Nah,
hear
he's
nothing.
good.
Locked in.
In the zone. He was in the zone. But
Um,
yeah, so that's all the facts I got.
All right, let's get into the
into it.
filmies. All right, welcome to the filmies. We are back in our normal recording situation.
Yes, I was gonna say that.
We're back online so we can actually hear the music. How did it sound, Dion? Was it,
It was
nice?
good. I was
It was
immediately
nice.
thinking in my head, I'm like, we're back. We're back and hear it. This is good.
Yeah, I mean, we recorded the last 3 episodes in person because you were down for the holidays. That was it's good though. Like recording in
Yeah.
person, it always goes well too. But
Next-
it also kind of feels nice to be back. I don't know. It's like there's pros and cons to both.
No,
I guess.
100%. Yeah, it's next time I'm gonna just have it on my phone and we'll just play it live, just so we just can
Yeah.
feel it. We can feel like, hey, it's the filmies. Let's go. Otherwise, we're kind of
Okay.
like, all right, so now we gotta act like that music played.
Yeah,
Let's continue. I'm gonna play it next time, just so I
Okay.
can feel, because I
Sure.
feel like I'm in the filmies. We're in
Yeah?
it right now. I'm in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
didn't.
feel it.
Well, the whole set changed. You didn't see that?
Yeah, exactly.
Our whole studio is now.
Yeah, for the podcast listeners, yeah, it's the whole
Yeah.
set just changed.
yeah. The whole
Scott's
set
wearing
just changed. It's
Scott's
crazy.
changed his clothes. I'm wearing my 2-piece. I'm wearing a 3-piece actually, but I didn't mean to show him up. But we didn't talk it over. So
Wow, bro, that's crazy. Man. Come on, hey, but mine got the tails on it. You know those
Okay, no, that's
tuxedos
fresh.
with like the.
Oh yeah.
The-
Well, yeah,
so
you're
when you
wearing
sit down
one.
at the piano,
You're-
you like throw it out.
Yeah. No, of course I see it because you're wearing
You
one.
see it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm here at my piano. Do you have a piano thing on my? Hey, I do have a piano on the soundboard. No, I don't.
know. I think is there?
No, there's not.
No. All right, we didn't think ahead of time.
We got a laugh track though.
All right, first award.
Okay, yeah. All right, yeah. So if this is your first episode, this is our award show. So we have
Yeah.
6 awards that we're gonna give to the movie. We just have fun with it,
Yeah.
and we're gonna start with our fit check. So the best or
Okay.
worst fit of the movie. What was your fit check?
So mine goes to Christoph, just because
Okay.
I feel like he has the classic villain fit. He never changes.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
always rocking like his. I don't even know what you call those kind of hats. Like,
No idea.
yeah, I have no idea. It's like a paperboy hat, but he has it backwards. He's like one of those
Yeah.
old school, like, yeah, British paper boys. Like, get your
Yeah.
paper here.
Extra,
like,
extra.
yeah, exactly. Read all
Yeah.
about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but he threw that shit on backwards. It's kind of swaggy. He's got
Okay.
two. He's got 2 rings. It's interesting placement. He got his 2 rings on his pinky, and then the one next to it. That's an interesting ring
This
placement.
is ring. Well, that's the ring finger.
Yeah, I
next to
guess.
your
Yeah,
pinky?
that's true. But I guess just the double.
The
To me,
double.
that
Yeah.
combination. I've never seen that ring combination of going
Okay.
pinky. Usually, if someone does a pinky ring thing, that's like their statement. I'm just doing the pinky
Yeah.
ring. Maybe
Yeah.
do it on the other hand of the ring finger. I don't know, but yeah,
Maybe
I
one's
guess
a
there is.
wedding ring.
He's
Is he
married.
married?
That's crazy. Yeah, I just took that in.
Oof.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. Hey, he's got bread, so he's whatever.
That's
yeah.
true.
I'm sure
Yeah,
he's
that's
got my
true.
bread. But anyway, back to his fit. He's got that paperboy hat. He's got the glasses. He's got kind of like this, like it's just like this all black kind of suit thing. It's just fresh. He gives me like I was saying villain, but he gives me like Steve Jobs energy. Like I wonder if Steve
Mm.
Jobs watched this and like are they like like are they doing like a me? Because Steve Jobs always had like the same fit too, and he was very like the way Christoph. I also read the Steve Jobs book and I watched the movie and like I've just seen him talk. So like he kind of has like this Steve Jobs aura about him where he's just like I'm the creative, like always thinking
Yeah.
like how do we make this better? Like how can we do we change the logo of this? Like you feel like Christoph's always doing this, right? Like he's always kind
Yeah.
of like
Rubbing his chin.
yeah, rubbing his chin, finger under the lip, like no, that's not gonna
But in
work.
'98 was Steve Jobs like was
Yeah,
Apple really
MacBook.
like that?
Well, the Macintosh was people knew from the Macintosh was actually out and going around.
But did he have his like classic fit? He was out doing the
He didn't have the classic
presentations and all
fit
that
yet.
shit.
No, he didn't have the classic fit yet. He was doing.
So he's doing the Christoph.
Oh, it may be. Yeah, maybe he's doing the Christoph. That's true. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and the iPod came out like 3 years later, so maybe.
Maybe we're in
Didn't-
a dome, bro. I might be
Oh,
acting,
snap.
Dion. Are you
Oh,
acting? Whoa.
Yo,
Are you acting, bro? You tell me, right?
maybe.
Damn. Come on, man.
But I gotta. I'll give it to Christoph just for that because I feel
Okay,
like he
yeah.
was just. Also, I got to shout out Ed Harris too. You know what's funny too because you never saw this movie, but when we watched what's it called Snowpiercer, that was the first thing I thought. I was like, look at this guy, he's head
Oh,
honcho
true.
again. And then, but
Yeah.
you didn't have that background. I was
Villain.
like, look, yeah, just like this little okay head honcho guy. Of course, I was thinking, is this guy's running the Truman Show and he's doing the Snowpiercer? I almost have time for all this.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point.
That was the
He's-
first thing I
well,
thought
That
of.
one's set in the future though, that's why.
Yeah, that's true. That's what he gave up on the Truman Show. Then
Christoph yeah.
went into
exactly.
changed his
Building
name.
trains. Building trains.
Oh, if they had a one train set in this movie, someone could have connected and been like, "Oh, fucking Leo."
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's what
Oh,
happened to
shit.
him. That's the future.
That's him. That's him.
But what about you? What was your fish check?
Mine was I gave it to Truman, and it's his
Okay.
fit at the dance, in the dance scene. So
Like
he's
college?
got like a
yeah.
yeah. So he's got a cream jacket on, just like a white shirt, black pants, nothing crazy there. But the jacket is like a cream, and then the bow tie. It's like a Burberry bow tie.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's like the light brown, black and red plaid.
Mm-hmm.
It's sick.
No, I'm not like Truman had a couple like they're out there, like they're pretty flashy,
Yeah.
but like that's kind of what the times that everyone was doing kind of in the movie. He had definitely had a lot of fits. He was definitely my runner up for.
I
the
almost
next
I almost
fit.
actually gave him a different fit when he was like mowing the lawn and stuff, like the red shorts and the striped shirt.
Oh yeah.
That was just it was just funny. But that also reminds me of a note that I skipped, I guess, when we were going through the movie.
Yeah.
But when his wife comes home and he's like full doggy talking to her gardening, like why is he doing that?
I had that note too, and I skipped
Yeah.
over it because I'm like, I want to mention this. I wrote like Truman tooted up while he's doing doing the garden. Why? I don't know.
And he doesn't. His wife is behind him. He doesn't like turn around. He just looks back at it. It's crazy, bro. Jim Carrey is Jim Carrey is a treasure, bro. That's hilarious.
It was just, oh my god, I was dying at that too. I'm like, I forgot that about that scene too. I'm just like, why is he doing this fucking cartoon like this? Part of
See,
me was like, oh god.
but I was, like this guy, if he wasn't doing this, it wouldn't be good TV. But because he's like this is what makes the
Yeah,
Truman Show so good.
100%. You'd think he knew he was on camera at that point. Like, let's give these motherfuckers a show, yo.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh my
All right,
god.
next we got our 6-man award, our Nas
Yeah.
Reed award.
Oh man.
So this goes to someone with a smaller role in the movie that showed out. We want to show some love to. So who gets your Nas Reed award?
I gave it to the guy in the bathtub.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that guy was
Nice.
killing me, man. This movie's perfect for 6 men because there's such little
True.
cameos throughout the movie.
Yep.
There's so many little cameos, and he would just kill me just his excitement. This guy was always in the bathtub. This guy would be a freaking prune. Like, I don't know if we only ever saw him in the bathtub because again that's his role. But him just when he gets excited, just slapping, and then the thing that got me the most is when he was, hold on, Truman.
That was so funny. Why is he doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, that killed me too. That was good.
Man, that was his best moment when he did that. I was just
Yeah.
like, this must be a serious moment. And this guy is, oh my god, that
Yeah, this man is dying on your
That's what I'm
TV right now,
saying.
and you're just holding onto this shower
I think the
curtain.
shower
for
curtain.
Oh my god, that's so great pick. Great
Oh,
pick.
thank you.
I went with the exact same direction. You're right. The 6-man. There's a lot of good ones, but I gave it to. I kind of cheated, but I also have a backup. So I
That's
gave it to
fine.
the security guards that are watching the show.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's
Like
the same
Scully?
sense as you. Is yeah, like Scully. So it's the same sense. It's one of the people in the real world. But if I have to give it to one, I'll give it to Scully just because he's
Okay.
Scully
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But every time they cut to him, it was funny. But the best thing, kind of like you, the same thing. Every time it was funny, but he had a best thing. Their best thing was the very end of the movie.
Oh yeah.
He dies. They cut it. They're like, let's see what else is on, huh?
Yeah.
Like they just
perfect.
don't even, yeah. Like, but that's what I mean. Like the commentary on real life, where they're like, we would watch this guy almost get murdered, watch his whole life of a real dude, and then as soon as it's over, be like, what else is on?
100%. Perfect.
Crazy.
It was a perfect way to end the movie. I forgot to mention that too. I had that note, but I'm glad you brought it back. It is great. That is 100%
perfect.
how, because you even talked about that too. Where you're like, yeah, we just watch, we go move on to the next thing, whatever it is, and then I'm like, yeah, and they even do that at the end of the movie. It's
Exactly.
perfect.
Perfect way to end it, and it was funny, so I gave him my 6-man.
There was another funny thing that he did too, and said that that I feel deserves some love, is when Meryl was like, okay, let's go to bed, honey, and then like they cut back to them. He's like, they never show anything.
Yeah.
They always just like show like some like windows, and then we hear like
Yeah.
the wind or whatever, but they never show anything. Like, you relax, you horny ass.
I know you heard.
It's not that
'Cause even
program.
they're at this like parking garage or whatever, and I can't remember what point in the movie, but it's when something crazy's happening. It might be in the boat scene.
Oh, and someone's
And-
like,
and
"Can you take my?"
Yeah, someone's like, "Here, take my." He's just leave the keys somewhere. Like they're like, Truman's escaping, bro. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? Get the hell out of here. They're great. So they get my 6 and 7,
Well deserved.
I guess.
Well deserved.
Yours as well. That was a great pick.
Yeah.
Okay, next we got our lazy award, our
Oh, yeah.
Ferris Bueller award. So we talked about throughout the episode. This is something that someone did or that's lazy. So we talked about a whole bunch of
Yeah.
possible ones. So I'm excited to hear what who actually won the award for you.
We talked about it, and I stayed kind of quiet because I wanted to save my frustrations for when it got to this point. I should have just mentioned it then, to be honest. Sometimes we do
That's
that. We're
fine.
just like, I'm giving my Ferris right now. It's the loop. I'm giving it to
Okay.
Christoph for the loop. Where the fact, because my thing is like, one, it's lazy that they have them doing the same loop. Why not just have the person with the flowers walk and then go do something else? Go sit at the
Yeah.
park, read a book. Hey, here. Just take any book you want to read and just go to the park and read it. Just do a regular person's. I was like, I'm not going to pay you extra. Like, I think you'd rather at least do different things than just walk around holding flowers the whole time. But it's the point of it's that first of all, that's lazy in itself. The fact they have them doing the same thing. The second part of it that makes it even lazier is the fact that we are all watching Truman 24/7. He's talking to his wife, telling her these people on a loop. You're watching this. Hey guys, stop doing the loop.
True.
He's
yeah.
seeing you do the loop, but no one even wants to intervene to make them stop doing the loop. I'm like, it's
That's
double
such a
lazy.
good point.
Just
That's
stop
such a
doing the
good
loop.
point.
Hey, everyone's
Yeah.
got headphones set. We've seen that. Like when the thing happens, like and like when that screech happens and everyone
Yeah.
stops because they all are mic'd up. Hey guys, stop doing the loop. He's on to you.
Yeah.
I was-
And we've seen Christoph when he was talking to Marlon, he was telling him what to say. So we know that he can communicate with
Yeah.
them. So you're totally right. It's he's like Truman's like, there's gonna be a car in 5 seconds. Tell that guy, hey, don't go.
Yeah.
So easy.
It's so simple. That's double lazy for that.
That's a
they
great
had to give my
point.
fair Christoph. I'm giving it to Christoph because he's the head honcho. So
Yeah.
you're too busy with your paperboy fucking hat, like, trying to get it the right way. Like, pay attention to what's going on, yo. Truman's on to you, man. You could
Yeah.
have saved it. That could have been a crucial point where he, like, if there was no loop there, he'd be like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
I
and his
guess I
wife
was-
could be like, "See, you're
Yeah,
crazy.
so
Like
maybe make him
you're
double
just seeing
think.
things." Yeah, that's a great point. That's a
What about
great
you,
point. They
though?
should have
What
stopped
about-
the loop.
That's what I'm saying. What about you?
Yeah,
What was your favorite?
my Ferris, I gave it to Sylvia.
Okay.
So when they meet in the library, and then she sneaks him out, right? They go around the corner, and then they go
Mhm.
to the beach. She had enough time to explain it to him.
Mm-hmm.
She had enough time. She wanted to
100%.
throw her hands up and run around in the sand and make out with him. Come on, Sylvia. You had
No,
enough time.
100%.
Tell this guy.
No, I 100% agree. I was thinking this. I almost gave it to her too, but I was just like, nah. The loop thing got me a little bit more. The loop thing got me a little more, but then, yeah, it's just like, no, this isn't real. Like, did it? Like, stop
Yeah.
talking and all these. Just say it point blank. Truman,
Yeah.
you were on a television show. They're watching you.
We're all
Like,
actors.
like,
There's
anyone we're
cameras.
talking to. We shouldn't be here. Did it? Like, yo, get to the point. You see
Yeah.
the car coming. Now just straight up say it. Don't.
Yeah.
This is fake. What is it? It's just sand. I don't know what real sand even looks like anyway. Like, why are you doing? You're being watched. What? What do you mean? Like, who's watching me? This is
And she would have
this is a set.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
What?
This is
what does
all
that
fake. You're
mean?
in a dome. The sun's
Yeah.
not real. Like,
No,
like,
she said you're on a set, but like, what does that mean? Like, explain
Yeah.
more. I don't even know what
Yeah, that's
you're
what I mean.
saying. Yeah,
like she's just saying these things, and then she moves on to the next thing, like trying to convince him. Like, just explain it. You have enough time to do that. You've also think about it. They made this eye contact for the first time when he was in college,
yeah,
right? And she was like, "Well, I guess this whole thing's in college, but like,
yeah.
it could have been. She could have had a couple weeks maybe to even think about, okay, how can I explain
him.
it to him?
Mhm.
How can I word this so that when I get the opportunity, because she keeps like throwing her bracelet out, like come find me, like we're trying. She's
Yeah.
trying to tell him. You
Mhm.
didn't come up with a better plan, and when you finally get a chance, you start running on the beach and kissing him. Come on, Sylvia.
It's well deserved.
She
Well
she gets
deserved.
my Ferris. Yours
Yeah.
is as well, though. That was good. All right, next we got our favorite quote. What was your favorite quote?
It's funny because it literally has to do with that scene.
Okay.
And I gave it to Truman just because I thought the delivery on it was just so hard. Is when they're on the beach and she's like, "They don't want me talking to you," and he's like, "Then don't talk." And he just goes in for the
Hey,
kiss.
that
I'm
was
like,
smooth.
"Yo, let's go, Truman, let's go." I don't know where this confidence just came from, but he was just like, "Then don't talk." Bang! I was like, "Oh, that's hard."
And he has a girl at the time.
Yeah. Oh,
Crazy.
what does he though? Oh, I guess no. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess kiss him on the
They're
cheek.
not
yeah.
married. They're not
Yeah,
married,
yeah, but no,
they're
he does
like,
have a girl.
they're dating.
Yeah. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying you should cheat on your girl, but I just thought the line was hard.
Hey, but
that
if
is
you're-
true. What?
If you're with a girl that's acting and you find your true love,
Yeah, exactly. If your girl's acting, then do it.
Yeah.
yo. Do it.
yeah, stone cold. Nice
No,
quote.
I thought that was Stone Cold. Yeah. What about you though? What was your favorite quote?
I had a couple contenders, and I just couldn't take myself away from giving him the classic "In case I don't see you."
Oh,
Good
okay.
afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Yeah.
Like it's so iconic, and like I said in that final scene, I'd seen it before, but it hit so much different that like I'd seen the rest of the movie,
Yeah.
and I really rooting for this guy, and he said it a couple times earlier in the movie, and this is like his thing, and it just
Mhm.
works so perfect in that situation. Like
No, I
everyone's
agree.
watching him, like you're on live TV. What are you gonna say? Because he's not gonna see you.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Good afternoon, good evening, good night." It's perfect.
No, 100%. I almost said that shit to my sister because I left and it was in the morning time and I didn't say. I was like, oh, I should have said it because I'm saying good morning. I'm not going to see her later on.
Yeah.
Ah, damn it! I should have said it. Then.
Come on, bro.
I'm gonna have to say it at some point to someone else.
Yeah.
But no, it's a hard quote though.
Yeah.
Especially like
Uh,
because like it's become such an iconic thing within the movie too. Like when he sees his neighbors, they even say
yeah.
it for him. Like
Yeah.
he's just like you know what I
The
say.
black neighbors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Truman's also down for the culture. Hell yeah.
100%.
Truman's
It's because
great.
it's like we saw you on in Living Color. We remember you with the Wayne
Yeah,
brothers.
true. There you go.
It's like, wait, what? No, never mind.
Never mind. Yeah. Okay, next we got our best scene. What was your best scene?
So yeah, again, I was staying reserved because I wanted to save this for when we got to the best scene. But my favorite scene was Marlon and Truman like after the wife fight. So when they're sitting there, and to me, it's for multiple reasons. Because I felt like you actually had a different take on it than I did. Because you were saying that it seemed like he wanted to tell Truman, but to me, he was so convincing and like being that like, oh yeah, man, like if everyone's in on it, that means I'd be in on it too. And like Truman's crying and everything, and I'm like, when I watch it, and every time I watch it, I'm like, this guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
This guy's a piece of shit. This guy trusts you so much, and that's why it's like it's such a good scene to me because it's just like, man, this guy is so locked in to messing with this guy and gaslighting this guy. Like you're looking in this man's face that you have known your entire life, and you're not at any moment. I didn't see hesitation there. It looked like he was deep into his acting role, and he's just like sipping his beer, still showing the ad by my ad to you because he says that, and then he still takes a sip.
I
and
love
shows
the ad so much, bro.
Yeah, it's great. But that to me, that's the where it's just like, oh, this guy is evil, man. He's right up there with Christoph. He does not care.
But don't forget, these are Christoph's words.
That's true.
So yes, he's acting and he's portraying it, and you're right. But he's saying Christoph's words. So like that's where the evil is coming from.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No,
I
for
got
sure.
the feeling that he wanted to tell him, but we'll never know. But
No, I didn't get that, but I think it just adds to the greatness of the scene because it's just so
True.
touching.
Yeah.
And like just the score in the back of it. It's just like, and I was like, oh, it's like a somber moment. You're kind of wondering, like, is he gonna tell him? And he doesn't. It's in that moment where he's like, man, he's really locked in. He's really locked into this. Cause like we know how long they've been friends. It's like it doesn't mean much, I guess. And this ties into the deleted scene. There was a deleted scene when they're looking for him, and Marlon actually sees him. And they're like, hey, have you seen Truman? And he's like, nah, didn't see him. And I was like, oh, okay. But they took that out because they don't want to give Marlon that where it's like, okay, he had someone else on his side, but they took it out so I can call him a piece of shit because in this,
it's not in the movie.
Yeah, it's not in the movie. So he is a piece of shit to me, and it's crazy.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I didn't see the scene, but I read about it where he actually finds him and lets him go. Yeah. Interesting. But you're right. They don't have it in it, so he is a piece. But that would lead to my thought of he does want to tell him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Good scene though. It is a good scene. Mine is right before this when he does almost kill his wife when they're in the house.
Yeah.
Like I think because like I said, I was not expecting this. I was not expecting a serious like. Is he actually gonna kill his wife? Like geez, this guy's the most vanilla, nice guy ever, and now he's gonna throw. I was not expecting this turn. And the start of it starts really like somber and serious when he's like, "Why do you want to have a baby with me? Like you hate me."
Yeah.
She's like, "What?" Like, "No, I don't hate you." And then right into the Coco ad. Hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
And then he gets pissed again. Like, "What is that? What do you do? Who are you talking to? Like, what the fuck's going on?" She says, "Do something." And he keeps freaking out. It just goes up and up and up and up. And then Marlon comes in to diffuse the situation. And it ends up being okay. But like I was on the edge of my seat during that scene.
Yeah. No, it's a really great scene. 100%. Like, it's it definitely is a turning point in the movie where it's like, yeah, you said earlier, it's that tone shift. It's a really great scene. 100%.
Yeah. Right, and then into yours. So that's the
ties
best
right
part of the
into it.
movie. Boom. Still
It's
not
funny-
as certified, but close.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's close. It is close. All right, yeah.
I was gonna say we're approaching and we're getting on another dry streak here. We haven't had a
that's
certified in a
true.
little
Yeah,
while
nothing
here.
in person, which probably was easier because that would have been also awkward
True.
too. It would have been very awkward in person. Where it's just like, would we just do it? What?
Certified.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, man.
But
it's okay. Maybe we'll get one here.
Yeah, maybe
With our final award,
yeah.
the MVP award.
Mhm.
Who's the most valuable player?
So I give mine to Jim Carrey. I think I was balancing between it was the director, the writer, and Jim Carrey because I was like, everyone deserves props. Like I said, man wrote it in 3 days. Such a unique concept. So you want to give him love for that. I'm still giving them honoraries, even though I'm giving it to Jim
Hmm.
Carrey. And then the director, just the visual. I mean, I don't know if it was written in the screenplay of like we will shoot this where it will be like from this button and we'll shoot it from this, or I don't know if he like kind of collaborated and been like, I think it'd be cool if we had all the camera shots being like these kind of hidden things where like it adds to the he's being
Yeah.
surveillance. So just the visual the storytelling was just really unique in here. But I'm still gonna give it to Jim Carrey because I feel like this movie again, you can't like just pull someone out of the movie and be like, "Hey, if someone else was here, would it work?" But it just works because of him. I feel like he's just such a such a Jim Carrey performance of just like his smiles, like his goofiness. We're dying on him, just fucking tooting it up. Like it's just so Jim Carrey, like the physical comedy, just his moments. It's just like there's certain moments, like even like the moment when he realizes that the boat is sunk, and just the way like he kind of slumps his shoulders, and kind of like you see it in him, like he just feels so like distraught, but he kind of like is holding it in, where it's just like it didn't work out, but you could see how stiff he is in his walking. It's just like his physical, because that's the way his comedy is. Like he's just such a physical comedian that like everything he does in this movie just works so well. Him getting, I don't know if he was doing his own act, like his own scene, like when he was on the boat and stuff. So I'm not gonna give him that, but I just think Jim Carrey is just so good in this movie.
Yeah. No, he
So
totally
I
is.
want to give him a love for that.
Yeah, he totally is. And I mean, it's called The Truman Show,
Yeah.
and the movie's all about him. The show was all about him. Everything is all about him. And I talked about this. I remember in the I Am Legend episode. I mean, that's a
Oh
little
yeah.
different because it's
Because
literally just him
yeah,
and a dog. So I was like, if he doesn't kill this role, the movie sucks.
yeah.
And but you could say the same thing about Truman because yeah, there's other actors, but it's all about him.
Hmm.
So if he doesn't kill the role, then the movie's not going to be good.
Yeah.
So giving him your MVP is a good shot. And yeah, you're right. He totally killed it. He's funny, but he's also like when he's freaking out at his wife, like he has this a serious note in the movie as well. Like he showed a lot of range within one movie. We
Yeah.
talked about earlier, like the run that he went on doing different things with different range, but like to do it in the same project,
Yeah. It's crazy.
really impressive.
100%. What about you? Who's your
My
MVP?
MVP goes to I went with the same kind of way that I'm lying. Not the same way, but you were shouting out, the visual storytelling. So I went with that. And
Okay.
I gave it to the editor. There's
Okay.
actually two editors credited on it, Lee Smith and William Anderson.
Okay.
But I I gave it to Lee Smith again, kind of like there's no reason
Okay.
really,
Yeah. You just
but
wanted to pick one.
he's closer to the start of his career
Okay.
as than Will Anderson. So I was like, I feel like that's maybe a little more impressive. Like Will Anderson,
Yeah.
this was one of his last movies. Lee Smith, this was one of his first movies,
Okay. Yeah.
and now he's Nolan's guy. Like he did
Oh, okay.
the Dark Knight trilogy, Interstellar, Dunkirk. He got the Oscar in Dunkirk for editing. So
Editing. Yeah.
anyway, so I gave it to him, and like we talked about, like the cuts into the real world, the shots from the hidden cameras. They add they make the movie so much better, and
Hmm.
because it always gives you that feel that we're in the Truman Show with them,
Yeah.
and reminder of the real world outside and how they're reacting to what's happening in the show. I think it's cut super super well the way it goes back and forth throughout the whole movie. It's not like we have a big chunk here and then a big chunk outside and then a big chunk, like it's always going back and forth,
Hmm.
having shots of just him in the show, but also then we go to the hidden camera so we see what the outside world would be seeing.
Yeah.
That's so good. And adding the way it adds the commentary of real life consumerism and how shitty we are, like the way that we see them reacting to the crazy
Yeah.
stuff that's happening to a real person
Mm.
that thinks the reality is real. It just makes it feel like a TV show, like the feeling that it gives you, the commentary that it adds, it makes the movie so much better. So that's why I
Oh, for
gave him
sure.
my MVP.
No, it's a great MVP. Well deserved. I didn't know if you're gonna go that route, but what the editor definitely deserves some love. The movie was just it was crafted so well. I didn't realize it was Nolan's guy either. It's interesting.
No, I didn't either. When I was looking up, because I was like, because after I watched the movie, I was like, wow, the way this is like cut is amazing. So my immediate thought was I'll probably give him my MVP, and then I looked into it and I saw that, and like I said, there was two of them. I had to pick one, so I don't know. I just went with
That was
one.
a
I
good
remember like
choice.
in Uncut Gems, you gave it to one of the Safdie brothers. And yours, like, I just had to choose one. So the other one didn't do shit.
Yeah, it's tough where it's just like, there's two people here at work. What do we do here? But
Whatever.
yeah, even me giving to Jim Carrey too. I think I was really balancing on writer director, but I was like, it's tough. Like I don't know. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I could also just give it to Jim Carrey, and there's no issue there. And it's
True.
not like it was a. It's like, I guess I'll give it to him. No, he definitely deserves some love for this because
Yeah, because I was thinking that too. I was like, like the whole shots of the hidden cameras and like cutting back and forth, was that the director's idea? Is that the writer's? I don't even know if it was the editor's
Yeah.
idea and he was just executing what they told him to do. So I don't even know. I
still give
got to
some
make a
love
pick.
regardless. Yeah, still go some love regardless. It's all right.
Facts. He deserves it regardless. You're right.
No, 100%. Do you have any other final notes? Any final things you want to mention?
No, I'm good. Good movie.
Great movie.
Good suggestion. Great movie.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll
Thank
give
you.
it great. That's a great movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. This concept of this movie is, remember I said on a previous episode how I've always written stories and stuff like that. One of the stories that I've been writing, I've been off and on with it for like maybe like 2 years now, is my own concept of the Truman Show. After I watched that movie, I immediately was like, I need to think of my own concept of this movie. As of right now, without giving too much away, because I want someone stealing my ideas. But all I really have, well, I have more than that, but all I'm gonna give is that I have, like, again, same kind of Truman Show-esque thing, people watching, but it's more than one person. It's like a group of people that people are watching.
Okay.
And it's
I like
more
that.
thriller. It's
Right.
more thriller than comedy. So that's how I was trying
That's
to,
what
like,
I was
don't
going to
wanna do the
ask. Is
exact
it more of
same-
a darker tone, or like,
More of
because
a
you're
darker
also
tone.
a horror guy?
Yeah.
So,
There's a little bit of like horror elements in there, but
nice.
because I put like a actually, I don't want to say that part.
You don't want to say. You don't
I
have to
don't want
say.
to
It's
say
okay.
it. I don't want to say it. This will come to light. I don't know if it's going to become
Hell
a
yeah.
novel or if it will just become a screenplay.
The first Film Room podcast production, baby.
Who knows? But yeah, I've been obsessed with that concept. It's just such an
It's so
interesting
good.
concept to me.
It's a great. I agree.
Yeah.
The concept is amazing. That's what I was saying. Like, they couldn't mess this up. The concept is so good. You can't mess it up.
Now I want to watch that. What's it called? The Twilight Zone episode. I'm kind of curious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I might look at. I have the name of it, so I'll see if I can find somewhere.
What's the name?
Special Service.
Special Service. Okay.
Yeah. It came out in 1989.
Okay, so it's 9 years before this, so you could see that. Yeah, he got the idea, then wrote the script, and then you go through the whole production process. It takes a while, so.
Did I say Special Service? It's called Special Service. Let me just make sure I get that right. So if
I
someone
think
wants
that's
to
what
look
you
it up.
said.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Twilight Zone
Pretty sure that's what you
episode.
said.
Special Service. If anyone wants to look it up, go check that out.
Check it out.
Yeah. All right. So with that being said, hey, if you feel like you had a better sixth man, or maybe we missed a great quote, leave it in the comments on YouTube or on our socials. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at The Film Room Pod. We love going back and forth with our fellow movie lovers. You're part of this film family, movie mafia, and I think we've stuck to something. But I just I like throwing that in every single time. Like, we don't know what we're deciding, but we keep saying the same thing. And if you've been rocking with us for a couple of episodes, I assume you like the show. So hey, hit us with a review. We'll read it on the show. 5 stars only. I think I'm coming down with that thing Jamari had at Christmas. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But
the 5-star syndrome.
Yeah, apparently. And finally, to close it off, I want to say, like, again, we appreciate all the return listeners, and if it's your first time, welcome. We got lots of room in this family. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.